The date is the 24th of Airy, year of our kingdom, 998. The weather, wet. Being at sea makes everything feel damp even when it isn't raining. Situation? Regrouping before venturing below the surface of the wreck of the Good Fortune. Dawn of a new day, and for that, I could not be more thankful. Yesterday was a challenge, and one I have no desire to linger on in my mind. We awoke, and I prepared breakfast, as is my duty. It was a simple affair, one made thoroughly complicated by Willow explaining they planned to, more or less, betray Captain Terape by potentially attempting to steal the elemental that may be left aboard the Good Fortune. I'll do what I can to aid them, but after yesterday, I will admit I am contrary to further confrontation. Nevertheless, Anne and Kat also agreed to assist, as did our captain. After breakfast, we spent the morning scavenging in the harpies' nests, recovering what we could. We even found a crate of spice from the Jenny. Hopefully enough to get our full reward, though I'm unsure how much we could reasonably bring back, even if we did find the entirety of the cargo. The scrap bucket is a humble vessel, after all. Then to the Good Fortune. Bones the boatswain was tasked with accompanying us, and while they do appear to have a mission of their own to undertake, for the most part they seem uninterested in getting in between our team dynamic, as they put it. Maybe getting the elemental for Willow won't be as difficult as we thought.
All right. We resume. We resume within the hold of, or rather, within the main deck of the Good Fortune. You are currently standing in the center of the bombard, about to head deeper in. You've thoroughly explored this deck, having scoured all of the available rooms and found a few things. But there is more to be found underneath the waves. You're currently standing in about shin-high water. Captain Varys and Bosun Bones are standing to the side. I believe you're about to drink your potions of water breathing and head underwater. Which route would you like to take?
Our options are the stairs down or in that hole, or any of these holes.
Yes.
I
would mainly recommend going down either through the stairs or this large hole in the prow.
Yeah. I would probably suggest going into the large hole, just because it gives us a greater vantage point of not being like bottlenecked in the staircase, because I don't really know what kind of staircase that is.
Also, it gives us like the opportunity to just go straight along the ship.
Yeah, pan the whole ship rather than having to go towards the end again.
Figure out our bearings under the water.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I think Willow might actually head that way and kind of like flip up the Cognaut mask and take their drink at the edge. But like, no, actually we'll wait for you guys because I don't want to run out of time.
Yep, and
I mean, Bones
knows
that you're a person.
Yes.
So
yes.
I know that.
But you don't want them to see your face.
Might as well go the full 9 yards since we started out this way.
Yeah. Bones knows that I'm not a Warforged, but he doesn't.
Yeah.
They don't know what I am or who I am.
Nope.
So.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
And is
Fishdoll's
following
gonna whoop around Bones.
Willow's
and
lead.
Then come to us.
Beep boop.
While we're here, can we say that like briefly we were here before Bones and Varys came?
You would need to make an excuse or say something to basically have them delay.
Never mind then. It's not that important. Just when Willow gets here, they're going to gesture to Fish Dog. They're going to tap on Fish Dog and then activate its light
Mm-hmm.
and mention.
Yes.
They will mention.
If anybody becomes disoriented under the water, keep an eye on the light.
Aye.
Yes, Captain. Co-captain. Vice captain.
Carpenter. Gil.
Gil. Just Gil.
Gil.
Yeah.
Fish Dog's going to specifically fly towards Luca around his head.
Okay. Fish Dog is following Luca.
Varys also needs lights if he's coming.
Varys can see in dim light. Not as good as, say, N or
wait, yeah, he's a half
Willow.
elf. Oh my god, I'm useless. I'm the useless human guy.
Bones also can't see in the dark.
Yeah, the two big guys. All that muscle didn't go to your eyes. It's fine.
Anyway, you all take your potions of water breathing. Please mark them off your character sheets.
Yes.
Who
How do I
dives
drink?
in first?
I'll go in first because I'm the biggest.
I think Cognaught's going to step you aside.
No.
Like hand on Luca's chest and kind of nudge him back.
I'll go.
Fine. I will
Thank
let Willow
you.
pass.
I think before Willow dives, they're going to mention.
Don't be caught in any corners.
And then dunk.
Okay.
I have no idea what that means, so I'll just give a dumb look.
Don't be caught by an elemental in any corners.
There's a don't get cornered.
Yeah, pretty. You should know this. You're a soldier.
I've never heard it said like that, so I'm too stupid.
It's just Willow did describe the laundry, the washing machine.
The washing machine effect.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You all, one by one, submerge
Woo!
to the second level down.
Luca's holding his breath, like puffed out cheeks.
The whole okay.
Someone please point it out to him. Someone please point it out to him.
It might have to be you, Willow.
I'm looking around the room. I'm busy.
Okay, give me a perception check.
If I don't perceive the room, then I'm going to perceive Luca's blowfish expression. Can Fish Dog give me advantage on this?
Yep.
Sweet. Perception?
Yes. Good.
Nice.
So, this room is similar to the one that you were just in above. The tattered scraps of canvas, rusted cleats, remnants of supplies. This used to be crew quarters, but obviously it is in much worse condition than the area above. Mostly due to the fact that it is completely submerged underwater. There is very little light streaming in through the massive hole in the port side of the Good Fortune's bow where the Blackfin crashed into it. You can see there's even more of a hole down where you could continue to venture right down to the bottom of the ship itself into the cargo hold. Beyond that, there is a door to the east. And not much else of interest.
Okay. Would we see anything if we poked our head into that hole now?
Yeah, you could continue to explore down there.
Just a cursory glance.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I might while I'm here. As long as I don't get my head
Okay.
cut off by anything, seems safe.
And we'll watch your
Is it
back, and if you
investigation?
go into the hole unwillingly, we'll deal with it.
Where it just swoops out.
Yeah. We've got a problem.
Yeah. So imagine Willow's like turned upside down and is like going to peek around under there. I guess Fishtail could also help me here too.
Yeah.
Investigation check?
No, this would just be perception again.
Perception? Okay. Oh, didn't go.
Rude.
Oh, I hit it twice and it hasn't gone.
Roll 20.
No.
Roll 20! I just need you to roll 2! Huh, it's not working.
Here I was going to apply
Shit, it went 3 times.
to be
Oh.
an ambassador for roll
First
20.
one.
I don't see any.
It hasn't appeared.
Oh, the first one I got snake eyes again, but 11.
Oh, there it
Well,
goes.
there they go.
Okay, well, I'll use the first one.
Yeah.
Um,
The 11s?
yes.
Yes.
So you poke your head underwater and do a quick glance around as Fishdog shines its torch on the area. You see below that there are rusty bench clamps and sodden lengths of timber floating underwater lightly, mostly settled on the floor. All the signs that indicate that this was once the workshop and store for the ship's carpenter. It is fully settled on the seafloor, and there is silt and sand washed in at the bottom where the rest of the hull has been sort of crunched open.
That's the like final layer of the ship, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
So-
our base level.
Yeah, you can see there is a door almost exactly below where the door in this room is. And you assume that would lead to the cargo hold.
Yep.
Which would generally be one big room. Gonna make a roll.
Oh, good.
A shark is going to
roll
eat
for
my head off.
decapitation.
No?
Whoa!
Okay.
Oh.
Good to know.
Uh-oh.
What's
does that
everybody's
mean,
passive
sir?
insight?
11?
10.
That's 10 plus...
Yeah.
Plus 11.
Passive
Okay.
insight. Wait, how do you do passive
10
insight?
plus
It's
your
10
skill,
plus your-
skill modifier. So the number
Yeah.
beside skills, the little checkbox. Checkbox thing.
Yes, insight. My number is 2.
So
12.
12.
10, 11,
Mhm.
12. That's romantic.
Wow.
Okay. Yep.
Sure. Okay. Let's keep on chugging, boys. Everyone's fine
What do you
right
do
now.
next?
I was looking at Zeke like, the fuck was that? Okay,
So the engine room would be on this level, right? Or what? It's the lower one?
Willow suggested that it would be probably on this one. If not on the above
Yes.
layer, then probably this one at the
Yeah.
very end.
Mhm.
So we should probably keep working our way through this one, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, Willow's basically gonna pop their head up from this and then go back to the door and look back at these guys.
Shall we?
Let's go.
Luca nods, still blowfish faced.
Luca,
Okay.
you do remember what the potion was called, yes?
Luca nods.
Take a gulp, Luca.
It's a bit disorienting
shakes
at
his
first,
head.
but you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Look, I'm
Are
doing
you
it.
actually holding your breath or just going and breathing
He's
through
holding
your
his
nose?
breath because he
Willow's going.
thinks that it makes
Sorry.
you able to hold your breath for like an hour.
Willow's going to literally punch him in the chest.
Can they? Can I stop them?
Are you expecting it?
Time is of the essence, my lads. Can I take a crowbar to this door while these two fuckers have a
I'm
go at each other?
I'm
Yeah.
just gonna punch him. It's just quick. It's a quick jab in the chest.
Alright.
Do I have to do a check for this?
I think you would have to do an attack roll, yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
bitch,
which
attack
one?
me.
Strength?
Strength.
Yeah.
Oh shit, that had advantage. Fished. Oh my god.
Oh my god. Okay, fine.
Well, either way, you give Luca a quick, like, jab in, like, the
My
tummy,
god.
then instinctively
All the bubbles.
gulp, and
Yeah.
you realize you can breathe.
Oh. Why did you do that?
Who's gonna go back to the door and help?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
Bones. I think Bones has before any of you can, while you're doing the shenanigans, Bones has opened the door.
Is it just open? We don't have to
Ah,
break it? I thought
perfect.
the water pressure
Yeah.
would make it, so it might be difficult.
Bones is strong enough.
Okay, he's made for
Okay.
this. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. They can lead the way.
Yeah. Cool.
I'm gonna give Willow a look. And then poke my head out to see if there's danger.
Make a perception check.
My best. So good.
So, the remnants of broken tables and benches float aimlessly in what was once the mess of the ship. Darkness-loving sea creatures flitter around the corners of your vision, swimming through the crevices. Once this would have been the heart of conversation and camaraderie. Now it's just a mess. There are multiple exits to this area. A set of stairs lead down into the cargo hold. The door to the west, next to a hole in the wall, leads to the bow of the ship, which is where you came from. Two doors to the south seem to lead to storage areas. A corridor to the east leads deeper into the ship. And there are obviously stairs upwards, back to the main deck.
All right. Nothing too bad, so I'll step out so the others can come out. Can I touch a fish? Do I need to get close enough?
Make a sleight of hand check.
Ooh.
You reach out for a fish and they just swim away.
Oh,
You have to earn their trust, Luca.
I will.
Use a net.
That's also an option.
Is there
yes.
a way for me?
Hmm?
Is there a way to check for like evidence of elemental activity or anything like that?
No.
Okay.
Not in the way you're thinking.
Okay.
Is
Bones is
Varys
heading off.
intentionally not coming out?
I don't know. Are you paying
Right,
attention
he-
to it?
I think N would be.
Oh,
N's kind of
fucking-
bringing up the rear, so. N will probably poke their
Okay.
head back. Eris?
You see he's just kind of frozen in place.
Oh no, I know that look.
Oh no.
Anne's gonna like look over their shoulder to the other two. Swim back over.
Are Luca and Willow paying attention, or is Willow focused on investigating? I believe, Willow, you would have made a perception check.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Willow's focused, honestly.
Investigation?
Investigation or perception, depending on what you would like to do.
I think a bit more of a close look is what Willow's doing.
Okay.
Also, they are kind of focusing on Bones' movements. So yeah, it's just whatever is. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Damn, Willow. You're just like this.
Okay, so Willow, you see the two doors here and here, either side of the set of stairs. You kind of have to move around to access both of them. Those look to be storage closets. And if this is the mess, then that door is like one of these doors along here is probably the galley. And then there are probably more officers' quarters or infirmary or other things. You see at the far back there is an iron door that is absolutely barricaded with debris, things that have just like rolled all the way back into the stern.
Alrighty.
That is most likely the engine room that you are looking for.
Yeah. And
even
with
though
the
there's not like
investigation-
this ship is not big enough to require signage, but the evidence is like pretty clear that the door at the far end here is most likely going to be the engine room that you were looking for.
Okay, and on that, can I ask what Bones appears to be doing?
Bones is mostly looking around. When they're not like moving ahead, and they have no intention of like splitting the party and going off on their own, they sometimes will push ahead of your group, but they are mostly just taking point rather than like moving.
Accelerating.
Yeah. So Bones is mostly standing in the center and like looking around.
Gil might speak to them
Mm-hmm.
because I do think that they are focusing more on Bones than the rest of the party at the moment. They'll point to the end of the corridor and say,
What do you suppose that is?
That's our meal ticket, isn't it?
doesn't say anything. Just Cognot's just going to go.
Oh.
I think Luca is kind of a little bit distracted just by the novelty of breathing underwater, so he's probably like looking around.
Yeah, so... and is going to go back into the other room after glancing at you two to make sure you're okay, I guess. And, hey, Varys? Hey, do you know where you are? Do you know who I am?
Ferris has to make another wisdom saving throw.
Oh dear.
Let's see.
Dear God.
Oh.
Yeah, okay. He, your presence sort of jolts him out of it, and he goes, yes, I'm fine. I was just lost in thought.
Sure, yeah. It's not too late to bail if you need to.
I've already drunk the potion. That's fine. I'm fine. And he sort of gestures for you to move, so you'll follow.
Okay. And nods and goes back in here to follow the others.
I'm gonna do a cursory. That was an insight check on the N and Varys delayed entry. How do they look?
Varys looks shaken in a way that you recognize and sort of belatedly realize, oh yeah, this man was stuck underwater for 6 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. And's got a bit of like a furrow in their brow of concern.
Yeah,
And they're staying close to
that's
Varys.
cool. Fish Dog does a circle around him. Fish Dog's doing like loops around
Yeah.
every so often, but it's quite clear when Fish Dog has honed in on somebody. Even though Willow is going to more or less proceed ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know if it would be a belated noticing so much as like a. It is an inevitability. However, we're already here.
Yeah.
This plan was made with all of that in mind.
Was it?
Maybe not necessarily that, but a kind of disregard for those elements outside of. I'm trying not to voice this so coldly.
Yeah.
You know, the same energy as telling N in the dream. I can't
Yeah.
cater for that right now. I'm going to trust that
Yeah.
you're here, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was never for lack of insight, just for lack of options.
Yeah, that's fair. I think Varys is going to try and busy himself by opening one of the storage doors. The difference with the doors down here is that they are easier to open because everything is flooded, so you're not fighting against like one-sided pressure. Varys opens up this door and pokes around.
I think Willow's gonna talk to Bones again after you do that.
Yeah. Okay. Luca and N, you doing anything?
I'm just gonna stay
I might
with Varys.
Over
Help him
and
out.
open this one. Yeah.
Okay. Make an athletics check. The DC is very low.
Athletics, where are you? Can't spell. Does
Yeah,
that do it?
you open it easily. Reveal areas, please. Let me describe. So, you open the door to this area. It looks like this used to be a storage for weapons and armor used in combat. All of the sort of mundane equipment that you can see, armor, swords, crossbows, etc., has been ruined by the water. It is heavily rusted at this point. There might be something worth salvaging in here, but it is not evident at a first glance.
Are these cupboards?
Yes.
I'm gonna go rifle through those cupboards.
Make an investigation check.
Oh.
You do not find anything of interest amongst the cupboards. You do a quick sort of rifle through and glance through, but it all looks much the same as everything else. It's water ruined, some algae and other things.
Okay.
Little bits of barnacles growing in places.
Little guys.
No, barnacles.
They're little guys.
Well, are you talking to Bones?
I think after their little they're going to before they proceed anywhere, especially since the rest of the crew is looking.
Have you ever dealt with this manner of thing before?
Bones taps the side of their nose.
Secret?
What about you? You dealt with this before?
Not precisely this, but well enough to know that if that door is closed, we might want to keep it that way until we have explored the rest of the galleon.
Smart move.
Thank you.
Bones does like a sort of mock bow to you as like, take the lead, oh expert, without
Wow.
actually saying that out loud.
Okay, smartass. How are
Of
these
course, they're a
guys doing?
smartass. They're made of a computer.
What's a computer?
Somebody who
It
does
is a
math.
computer. Yeah.
Yeah, fair. Ugh, pain. Okay. How are you guys doing?
I'm
I'm
gonna.
gonna-
Varys,
Varys and N.
yeah, just
Yeah.
is sort of. He seems to have recovered from whatever that was.
Mm.
And is sort of trying to keep his focus on the group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anne's keeping an eye on him, but also like trying not to crowd him.
Yeah.
Fishdog's crowding him. How does Varys not crowding him, but keeps circling, doing little weeps around Varys? What's his reaction to Fishdog doing loops around him
I
sometimes?
think he's kind of curious and like follows Fishdog as if it's trying to show him something, but other than that, like I don't think he knows what to make of it really.
Oh.
Hmm. It like flashes its little light towards him and then weeps away. Unclear whether it's leading him to anything or if it's just like drawing patterns around.
Yeah.
I
So-
think it might be an idea to check just in case something rises out of there. But I don't also want to. I vaguely know how D&D works. I don't want to dunk my head under and then initiate something. But it seems wise to check. At least all the other doors are closed. This is an open area,
Yeah.
so we
Sure.
don't get flanked. Yeah, I think Willow's going to come back towards N and then again.
Yep, watch your back if
dunk her
you're
head
going
under.
well, no, something's
Yeah.
gone wrong.
Yeah. I also no, I don't have an expression. Never mind. I was going to give you a facial expression, but I'm wearing a mask.
Regrettable.
Yeah. Oh wait, I wouldn't be wearing the hat, huh?
No,
Anyway,
I
I
imagined
could
that
be.
was in your pocket.
Yeah. Probably took it off when I was taking the potion.
Yeah.
Dear Willow's cool, shiny gold head.
You used the hat to
Um,
cover your face while you were drinking.
Yeah. How? Ooh. Okay, I'm going to do another upside down check. Give Anna a little look, like pull me up if I die.
And nods.
I will just say that this side here is a balcony. Not that it matters because you're all underwater, so you can move freely in 3 dimensions. But just so you know, there is this side over here is open. This side is closed.
Oh. Which one goes downstairs? The one I'm in front
This
of?
one goes downstairs here.
Mm-hmm. So can I look through it still?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
There's just a railing there so you don't fall down the stairs from the wrong side.
Yeah.
Yeah. God, I can't believe all the people on this boat got fed to harpies or drowned.
Don't think about it. Don't think about it. Repress,
Um,
repress.
Okay, yeah, I'm good at that. That's fine. Okay, so perception
Yes, please.
with a fishy dog. Oof.
Okay. You sort of peek down the stairs into the cargo hold. You can see, mostly because of your vantage point, you can only really see a little bit of the area. You would have to, like, go downstairs fully to examine it, but it looks like it's mostly just sort of ruined crates, you know, cargo, sand, seaweed, that sort of thing. You maybe see a fish or two that are swimming about. It looks like to the north, so starboard on the ship, there's another sort of structure. You know that the carpenter's store would be behind the stairs, basically. But there does seem to be some sort of structure where this area would be at the bottom of the
Point
ship.
again.
So if you look this direction, down there, you can see there is sort of a wall and more of a structure. You can maybe see a couple doors, which might imply that it's the brig.
Okay.
Explosion was on that side further along, so that would make sense.
Yeah, you're right. So up top, the starboard side, which is, if we're facing north, the right side. Facing north, facing forward. That's also where that massive, what Rom just said.
You can't see the hole from the inside from your position on the stairs, but...
Yeah, that's fair. Can I operate by the logic that if there are fish casually swimming around, there probably isn't also, like, a shark in here yet?
Yeah, there's probably not.
The fish seem pretty chill. Usually casual standing fish mean there probably isn't
A huge predator nearby, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is a
cool.
fair assumption
Like the
to make.
birds of the ocean.
Yeah. Seagulls just come out here to die. Seagull dies. So okay. Fish dog will Neum back. Is Lucas in there still?
He might be coming out when you pop up.
Okay, Fish dog will Neum around Luca again. Fish dog's just doing loopies around Luca and Varys mainly. Well, Willow might go ahead then, being the expert and all. And open this door, might as well.
Okay. Make an
Can I
athletics
do
check.
checks before I open the doors? Is there any...
What are you looking for? What kind of check do you want to make? What are you trying to do?
Any manner of danger beyond the door before I open it? Considering this is the side of the big hole.
What kind of danger are you anticipating? Like
emotional? No, probably just like any.
There's no check for that.
That have found their way in. Yeah.
Okay. That would be a perception check.
Okay. Fish dog is busy.
Otherwise, if you wanted
guys,
to like try and move without being spotted, it would be a stealth check.
Okay. Yeah, might as well. I think Willow would open it a bit stealthily and try to.
Okay. Okay, roll athletics.
Hey.
Okay. The far wall of this room has been blasted open with tremendous force. Even underwater, it is easy to see the scorched edges of planks and scattered debris. As examining the rest of the room, this was once the galley of the ship, judging by the built-in kitchen against the near wall. Further down, you can see a door which would probably lead to the pantry.
It's a miserable time. But yeah, Willow will go in and, I guess, investigate.
Okay.
I think investigating the actual damage too.
Okay, yeah.
Hmm.
What are you other people doing?
I might have followed Willow in, to be honest.
Yeah.
And probably took a passing glance in there and then left them to it and might go and check this door. But, like,
Sure.
carefully as well.
Okay. So...
Mm.
Very
Let's see if I
nice.
can get it open at all, though, first.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use my crowbar, maybe, if I need to for advantage.
Varys will
Varys.
assist you,
Thanks, Varys.
so you have advantage.
My minus in athletics.
Wow.
It's okay, we're both traumatized, it's fine.
No. Oh, third.
Thanks, Varys.
Varys opens the door.
Nice.
Thanks, Varys.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. Let me describe what Willow sees. So you're examining the damage and, like, seeing anything else?
Mm-hmm. Wait, was that the
Okay,
question?
so... Yes, that was a question.
Oh, yeah, just general details of the place. I'm interested in the fate of the crew. Obviously, we know the gist of it, but, like, any more specifics. And the nature of the damage, although we also know that quite personally. But hey, always
Yeah.
good to double check.
Okay, so... On a 19 investigation, you can see that clearly there was, before the wreck of the ship, plenty of food. This ship could have been sailing for months longer before it needed to do, like, a serious resupply.
Mm.
Obviously, all of that is ruined because it is soaked in seawater. Even the barrels that are usually, like, waterproof to some extent can't resist this much water pressure.
Yeah.
Certainly
The
not for
resistance
this
is
long.
huge.
Yeah.
Sorry.
The osmotic pressure has definitely fucked this whole situation up.
Yes.
You can see that because there was plenty of food here, there is also plenty of signs of marine life in here.
Hmm.
Things have, well, the food has not gone to waste in the sense that the circle of life continues.
Hmm.
And other than that, there does not seem to be anything of real value. The hearths and so on are similarly damaged to all the metalware in this place. But examining the damage on the hull, for one thing, you can see that the door to the pantry is very stuck. It seems like there might be something blocking it from the other side that prevents the door from opening. But because of the way the damage is, there's a hole, so you could just swim through on that side. The explosive damage. This was a far bigger explosion than either of the two you suffered when Roselia threw those beads at you individually. You can safely assume that the level of magnitude of this explosion was far greater, possibly 3-4 times greater.
God.
than the ones that you were hit by. It was enough to take out the entire hull of a ship, basically in one shot. It wasn't repeated bombings. This was one go where it dealt massive amounts of damage to the structure.
Is Luca okay looking at it?
Yep.
Then chuck a backwards glance at you. How are you?
I'm fine. Just playing around with the fishies. I'm fine, bro.
Oh, shit, for sure. Can I check off the side of this at all? Like into the lower level?
Yeah, you can sort of look down. You can kneel and then hang upside down and give a peek.
Oof.
Luca will join you.
Oh, could I get Fish Dog to help me?
I'm here too.
Is Fish Dog leaving Varys alone then? Is Fish Dog leaving the other two alone?
No, I'm no.
Swim up beside
You gotta
Willow
pick your battles.
and look over
Absolutely
as well.
not.
Can I
You
see
cast
anything?
such a shadow over me. I rolled a nat 1. Do I die now?
No.
Oops, I clicked it twice. Sorry. Yep, 8. Nothing. We see nothing.
I think because of the level of damage and because it is much darker down there, it is hard to make out anything of interest. You mostly just see the seafloor. You can't really get a good angle from this position, and you're not really willing to swim down and take a closer look personally. You would have to move position to gain any new information, basically, of what is going on down there.
Yeah, fair.
Okay.
And I assume you're not swimming out into the open water. You're staying within the confines of the ship.
Yeah. It'd be very funny to investigate the galleon and then just be like sniped by a random great white.
Unfortunate.
Can I give Willow a huge smack on the back in between the shoulders?
Hi.
I don't see why not.
Oh, come on.
That's fine. Compared to your, please don't nat 20 my spine out of whack, please.
Are you dodging, Willow, or?
Do I see it coming? I think I'm focused.
Yeah? I mean, your choice.
I think Willow is probably, if I'm looking down, I think Willow probably wouldn't be expecting Luca to slap them.
Just like a big old whack right between the shoulder blades.
Yeah. I think Cognot's going to startle and look at you.
Give them a smile.
Yes?
Hi. Swim past. Gonna go look over here.
Yes. So, this door is quite stuck. You would need a significant athletics check, or you could just swim around.
Can I try?
In the meantime, yeah.
Can I try?
Yes. In the meantime, though, I would like to talk.
Never mind.
No, not quite enough. In the meantime, though, I would like to follow Ann and Varys.
Yes, please.
You enter a room that is another officer's quarters. Similar to one of the areas above that you explored earlier. So built-in bunks, bedding, cabinets and furniture that mark it as sleeping quarters. Obviously, because it is all underwater, things are in a worse state. There are random bits that sort of drift aimlessly.
Yeah.
As you sort of move through the room, you kick up a little bit of the silt and sand that has built up. Varys will give you advantage on an investigation check if you want to look for anything.
Look around for anything of note.
You have a light? Beep boop.
Yeah. You do a quick scan. This does not seem to have anything of like true interest to you. Like, you could possibly try and pick buttons off of old uniforms, but you're like not really interested in it.
I'm not that desperate today, so
Yeah.
Oh.
You've already found the captain's log, so
yeah. So
I think your mind is elsewhere and not focused as much on profit.
no.
Fish dog also can't see anything of great interest. Cool. So,
I'm just glad there's no
We'll go
skeletons
back.
down here.
yeah.
Yet.
Yeah,
The night is young.
might be us.
I think what Bones is doing in this meantime is starting to clear the junk away from the door, but no intent to open it just yet. It's just like there's just physically a whole bunch of shit in the way.
Yeah. No, just... Yeah. Fish Dog's probably gonna do a little loopy around Varys and N and then like wait at this door.
Yeah, it'll
Okay.
probably be. Time is of the essence, and it's trying to get through all these other doors.
Okay. I'm going to say it's been about 10 minutes on your hour. 10, 15 maybe, as you're looking through stuff. So, Luca, you try and force the door open, but it is thoroughly blocked from the other side.
Yeah, and Willow like taps you quickly and gestures at the opening.
Okay, I'll swim around.
No, I think Willow's going to swim around first.
Okay, well, you both swim around.
Whatever.
I'll follow you.
Okay. Oh,
Oh, yay!
Let me describe. Among the wreckage and emptied livestock cages darts a school of sharp-toothed silver blue fish, picking over the long dead bones for any scrap of meat or marrow. There are cages here that would have held livestock. And these flesh-eating fish are clearly scavenging what little is left. I believe, Luca, you still have some fresh cuts.
Oh god, I
you.
do.
I'd like you to roll initiative real quick.
Should we all roll initiative, or?
Oh,
God.
good. Good for me.
Me as well,
As
I'm
usual.
guessing.
Did you
Yeah.
select your... Okay, you
I
didn't select
did.
your token.
I did.
I didn't have it open.
Yeah, might be.
Oops,
Initiative.
I got
Oh,
it.
Yeah,
there's two
imagine
Lucas.
Willow,
Tasty
Willow
Lucas.
rounded first. Willow rounded around first and then like put their hand out to gesture like, oh, okay, they're just fish. It's okay, we can swim back. And then like the like new Mad Lucas.
Meat?
Scratched up face.
Fresh meat.
So you see the swarm of fish sort of get distracted by your presence, but they don't seem to be swimming away. They seem to be swimming towards you. Willow, what would you like to do?
Willow would like to get back to oh no, but then might as well keep them here.
Follow us.
It's a bunch of fish.
It's just a bunch of fish. It's just a bunch of fish. That's fine. I'm trying to think if I have anything that can just kind of like poof the water, but I think that would be my thunderclap thing, which, by the way, does not conduct in water. It's magical thunder, lightning, whatever.
Oh, good.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say, is there like
if I was going to use
a
my
magic
lightning.
that can zap the whole entire water?
No. Well,
No.
simple melee weapon. It deals one. Sorry. When it comes to a school of fish, do I attack one fish at a time, or is it one creature all at once?
It's considered a swarm.
Remember that when we fought the
Swarms
rats
have their own rules.
in Stratathon?
Right. Okay. Gotcha.
Delicious.
Good
Yes.
times.
All right. Well, really did
Eat
want
the
to
fish.
bolt, but hey, I think first instinct would be. I'm just checking my magic real quick. I don't want to use a magic slot in case we need to fight a fucking elemental.
That would be a little more pressing.
Yeah, I think I'll just use my thunder gauntlets.
Okay. You gonna clap the fish?
Yes. Very difficult to clap underwater, but there is like still not impossible.
It's magic.
It's magic clapping.
Nice.
Oh yeah, that definitely
Hey!
hits. So you step up and like smack the swarm of fish in your hands.
You punched a fish. Why would you do that?
Why would you hit it?
Several of them immediately sort of start like go limp in the blast and start floating slowly upwards. They go belly up. Everybody hears that sound because
Yeah.
it is not quiet. So N and such can roll initiative if they like.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I thought I could leave you two alone for a minute, but apparently...
Hey, what?
Does that mean they have to like
flesh-eating
go
fish
through the door and then out and then try and find us?
I mean,
Yes.
I know you went into the door over here, but...
Yeah, it's not very hard to locate you.
Yeah.
That's fun.
I just sent you a thunder wave, so a thunderbolt, thunder slap.
Yeah.
So Varus won't act this turn, but he will act next turn. Okay, it is the Quipper's turn. They're not thrilled by this.
They shouldn't have approached. A meaty lad.
He is a very beefy boy.
Yeah, well,
So wait, are
they're
they
gonna
approaching us because Luca has meat on him? Is that what we said?
The reason they are attacking Luca is because there's blood in the water, and they can smell it.
Right. Okay.
So they will attack Luca
Oh,
with
good.
advantage.
Oh, good.
Ah.
Blood Frenzy
Oh.
does not hit. Luca is
Oh,
too
thank
well
God.
armored.
They are fish.
Yeah.
Are they called quippers? That's cute.
Yeah.
Oh, so cute.
So the swarm sort of darts around you and tries to nip at you, but you are too heavily armored for
You
them
might
to
take
find
to-
purchase with their. Yeah.
You
So,
might get to make friends
Luca,
with a
your
fish
turn.
after all.
Swimming with the fishes.
I'm gonna take out the dagger that N gave me and just kind of like flail it around in the swarm.
okay. Roll to attack.
Oh. Oh.
Yep. That'll
It's not a
hit.
fish.
You as you like flail the dagger around, you cut a couple fish up. And their brethren immediately like start eating the ones that are dead. But you have to reduce the numbers of the swarm. N, top of the round.
I'm making my way towards the door here. I'm gonna message Willow. I'm like, what's going on?
You have one more thing of movement.
Yeah, cool.
Willow's going to respond in Willow voice. Nothing to worry about, just some flesh-eating fish.
Oh, is that all?
That's your turn, N.
Okay then.
Willow's going to
Hello.
respond. Also, be vigilant. Yeah, they're just going to thunder gauntlet again. It worked last
Yeah.
time. I imagine that they are like clapping in the space between the fish to like get like a sizable
Yeah, little
like,
blast. Yeah.
yeah. So they're not like literally slapping a fish, but they are
Yeah.
well disturbing them to death, I guess.
Nice.
Another good hit. You have definitely reduced the swarm to more than half its size. But they're still going after Luca, who is bloodied.
Oh,
Did I
Steve, this. Oh, Jesus.
I guess you could say that hit was pretty meaty.
Bloody hell.
The fish managed to find purchase and start like chewing on your face and arms.
No, my face!
They're biting your fingertips.
I hope they're going for the porcelain one.
I think they've been very
I
tasty.
think that's what they were doing earlier.
I could heal that. I mean, I could. No, I can heal my flesh. I can't fix the porcelain arm.
I can.
That's what Willow's here for.
Anyway.
You're good.
Varys's turn, so he does not have a swimming speed, so he spends his entire turn moving up. And as a free action, we'll shout at end, "What's going on?"
Flesh-eating fish. Found Willow and Luca.
Luca, your turn.
I'm gonna. Can I like remove? No, wait, never mind. They're not like engaged in eating my body, are they?
They took some bites, but like
Yeah, but they're not like clinging to me, sucking the blood out of my body or something.
no.
So I'm
Not
just
like
gonna-
we just.
Yeah, I'm just gonna like swing the dagger around a little bit more, flail around.
Whoa!
Damn.
Yeah. Unfortunately, because this is a swarm of fish, you're not as it's not as easy to do as much damage when there's
Yeah.
like a bunch of space between the bodies.
Absolutely.
But you have thoroughly reduced the numbers. However, because of the blood in the water and the sudden frenzy of food, those remaining are still very aggressive.
Good.
N.
Yeah, well, I'll want to see it to believe it, so I'm gonna come around here.
Oh.
Can I see anything from here other than Luca?
These Luca like flailing.
I don't want to. That here then.
Yeah. You can sort of see like Luca flailing and like the faint outline of the fish. They would have 3/4 cover, I believe. So you could still attack them with an Eldritch Blast if you wanted to. They would just have a higher AC.
Yeah. Well, I'm here. I might as well try. It's like, so, off. Oh.
Imagine Willow sees you and
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of even though
Little
yeah, Willow just like ducks out the way.
and looks like disgruntled and like snaps a blast at the fish.
Yeah. So, and you managed to perfectly thread the needle through the gaps in the
Perfect.
side of the. How do you want to deal with this swarm?
Yes, and just swims up, sees like the fish all over Luca and Luca flailing and just and with like just the smallest little flick of their hand, they're going to release an Eldritch Blast that just threads its way through and zaps the fish around Luca as if it's
There's
effortless.
like there is sort of a miniature explosion underwater. There's no the flames sort of dissipate because this is magical force.
We see it from above the
and
water, and there's
all of
just
the
this purple like
all-
glow under the water briefly.
Yeah, there's like a little as
Twist on the
the-
bloop, bloop, and then
yeah. But you thoroughly destroy what remains of the swarm, and they are reduced to fish food for the other less aggressive fish.
Are there any like full-sized fish left?
Nope.
None? Wow.
you created pocket.
I mean-
You want to pick up the shreds.
I mean, there's the ones that like you and Willow like killed, which are either dead and floating or cut up, but the ones that N got are just mincemeat.
Can I grab one of the floaty ones and like hand
Obliterated.
it to Willow?
Sure.
Anne's gonna do a curtsy and leave.
Oh my god! Cute. Also, I
Varus
love
meets you
the
at the
image.
door
Oh,
Dealt
and
with.
gives you a look of like, oh, good to know.
I really not only. God, I love the image of all of that going down while Bones is just next door, hearing like all this explosion, like water
Yeah.
from the next room. Also, Willow did like a quick duck when they saw N lining
Yeah.
up. Like, okay, whoops.
Yeah.
Cute.
The little coat goes. Whoof. But yeah, you're handing Willow a fish.
Yes.
Willow's going to look at it and say,
Hey, why?
Dinner. Retribution.
Willow will take the fish and put it in their pocket.
Are they big enough for like a meal, or should we take 2?
Just hand Willow what you want them to put in their pockets, please.
God, how big are these fish?
I would say about hand-sized.
Oh, then I'm gonna grab a couple, collect them up, and give Willow a pile of fish.
Willow's just going to gesture to their pocket and be like, fill it.
Yeah.
No, just
Cool.
stand there. While they're standing there, they're going to perceive around to see if the noise jostled anything or drew the attention of anything. It's a top-down look too, but
Did you swim down or?
I imagine like they could be close to the ground. They're kind of at floor level. Because they mainly want to see if anything down below was like stirred up.
No.
No, okay. Or anything like on the side of the ship.
No.
Nothing else to see in this room.
Nope. Other
I'm
than
gonna say I got 10 fish, so we can have 2 each.
Willow's just going back and
10
forth
fish.
to Willow's pocket.
Yeah.
like putting stuff like snacks in a trolley when you're shopping with someone. Can we get and then like
Yeah.
Yeah.
repeatedly returning with more stuff? Just put it in the shopping room.
God.
Okay.
So that was less than a minute.
Yeah, Willow's just going to also gesture to Luca's face. Like the cuts. I'm assuming he has cuts
Yeah.
on his face.
Yes,
Oh,
he has
yeah.
bites and basically Luca had like some scrapes from sliding down the front of the cliff, and now he
Yeah.
has a bunch of bite marks. They're all fairly shallow.
Mm.
Oh no. They're like the kind of ones that just keep leaving little trails of red.
Yeah.
Yeah, Willow's going to do like a little circle. I imagine Luca like finishes with the fish and does like a big smile, and then Willow
Yeah.
looks at him and does like they draw a circle around their own face, like for him to consider healing his or something. Just mending, like whatever.
I'll put my hands on my face and
Minding.
I'll expend 1 lay on hands and heal up my facial wounds, because those are the most important. And then give Willow a thumbs up.
Yeah. The paper cuts have scabbed over, but you're
Good.
still a little bit
Thingy.
beat
Bummed
up.
out.
We're underwater. And I'll follow Willow back.
Okay.
Hmm.
Varus sees you come back out and says, "You all right?"
All well and good.
And I'll say, we're having fish for dinner.
Oh. Well, good to know.
They wanted to take a bite out of me, but we'll be biting back.
Anne's gonna try and open this door.
That was an insight check on Varus.
What are you trying to see?
Is he feeling okay? And this is from the perspective of, is he going to be with all due respect, is he going to be a liability?
He looks fine. He looks in good
Okay.
spirits now.
Hmm. Okay.
He laughed at Luca's poor joke.
Good. Good sign.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that was the stealth check,
Yeah.
so... Hey!
Pushes on the door and just goes through it like it's made of nothing. No driftwood can survive N.
Perfectly balanced, as
explains-
all things should be.
And it's like,
That
this door's
explains the
probably
no
gonna be a
stealth.
problem. I'll just give it a little extra oomph to open it, falls through.
No, I mean, you succeed is how that works.
Yes.
So,
But you succeed with panache.
I succeed with some noise because I rolled a nat one on stealth.
yeah, so I think you kick the door down, basically. You found, at this point, okay, the hinges on these things are pretty weak. You just, like, kick it with one of your boots. You manage to get enough force behind it, and you just break down the door.
Keeps happening. Well,
It, however, does not make that big of a... So, apart from the initial crunch of you breaking it, the door just sort of slowly drifts down because you're underwater.
yeah. Yep.
It doesn't fall with a thud, it just sort of goes...
Well, I might as well look inside then.
Okay. Perception check, please.
Oh my goodness.
Ooh.
All right, so this appears to have been the ship's infirmary. Cabinets of medical supplies stand bereft, their glass doors shattered. A submerged cot is pushed against a partitioning wall. Beyond it, the used shell of a surgery in disarray. The water here tastes worse than in other places aboard the wreck. There is a sort of bitterness to the water as you breathe it.
Mm,
I'm gonna join in.
delightful.
I imagine we're all kind of slowly going that way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Look, you've been appointed to... Okay, good.
Peek beyond this partition here, it looks like. Or
Yeah.
poke my head around there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's basically what I described. I assumed
Yeah.
you were moving about the room.
Yeah. Just wondering if there's anything special on over there. If it's just all about the same.
Yeah. But yeah, this place sort of has like a stale chemical smell to it.
Mm.
Yeah.
If you would like to investigate, you can.
Yeah, if there's anything here at all.
You can give Willow advantage.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'll give Willow advantage.
okay.
Roll
Thank
again.
you. I'll take it.
There we go.
Nice.
So, examining the room's contents, you don't find anything of interest. However, that in itself is a clue. What you find is an absence. So you see that either something or someone has probably removed what would be medical supplies from the ship. Judging by how much food there was aboard, there is no way that they would have had zero medical supplies left. You can probably guess that Roselia or something removed possibly healing potions or other things like that after it had sunk.
Makes sense.
Well, that's yucky.
And look
Yeah.
through cabinets, finds nothing, gives Willow a shrug.
Yeah. So,
Can we go here?
I don't think that hole is big enough for you to fit through comfortably unless you want to squeeze.
Oh, no.
But yeah, you can move around this room. There's just not a lot there.
I
It
think
used to be
Willow-
what was like a surgery section.
Yeah.
But
It's rather unpleasant to
It
think.
is.
The idea of this place having a different taste smell is like... ooh.
Yeah.
yeah.
I think Willow wants to remove their helmet and like press their ear against this wall, see if they can hear anything on the other side.
Okay. Make a
I know that we
perception
can't
check.
already, but yeah. So you end seeing Willow's face for a bit.
I think Bones has called Luca and Varys over to help them clear out the crates and stuff.
I imagine while they were beginning to investigate, Luca was regaling Varys with the tale of the fish.
Varys is a little bit amused by it.
Good one, Luca.
You press your ear to the wall, and mostly what you hear is the sound of Bones, Luca, and Varys clearing out the debris around the door. But sort of trying to filter that out and focusing in, you hear again the sounds of moving water, which is different to like the rest of the ship. There is a distinct current in the next room.
Okay. All right.
Promising.
Dare I
not
say
that the water
that
is still in the rest of the ship, but it's definitely not like flowing.
Yeah, it's not alive like that. So can I safely assume that it's in there?
Yeah. You're like 75% sure that there's something in there, and it is most likely the elemental.
Yeah, I imagine N sees the way that like Willow pulls a big smile at that. Grin, I think is a better word for it. Yeah, like as soon as they have sort of like an indifferent expression or a nothing expression until that big grin spreads out because they are now growing more confident that the elemental's in there.
We've got company.
Appears so.
How do you want to move forward then?
Well, we still have a whole level of the ship rather to explore. I already told Bones. No need to open the door until we're ready to deal with it.
Sounds like a plan.
So, indeed it does. Can Willow poke their head into this hole?
Yep.
Neither does. Kneels by the hole and sticks head into it.
Also, when you do it, it's an intelligent investigation, but when I do it, I'm an idiot.
You're very charming.
What do you want me to tell you?
At least every time you stuck your head into a hole, you haven't been attacked by flesh.
You know what might be easier to do is to send Fish Dog through and have Fish Dog make a perception check.
I just realized that as Fish Dog came here because I was like, it doesn't feel right. It feels too dangerous. Because like
squeeze your face through.
It feels too dangerous to put your head under there and then what? Like so I think Willow is going to send Fish Dog down to have a looky. Fish Dog perception.
Dog. Yeah.
Oh,
Nice.
So, Fish Dog does a little slow swim around. This design struggles a little bit to move underwater. Mostly because it was made to float through air, and water resistance is a little bit tougher than it's used to. So it takes about a minute, and then it comes up with a blinking light of all clear. Mostly crates and damage. No creatures, no danger. Unless you were sending it for anything else that you wanted it to find specifically.
Well, I don't know if it would know how to find intrigue. So
I don't think you have sophisticated enough protocols.
No, doesn't have that app yet.
Looking through boxes. There was nothing immediately obvious that was like super intriguing. Nothing
I think the
unexpected.
main thing. Yeah, Willow is considering a quick clearance before Willow goes down and does the investigating themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Or with you guys, probably, because they're going to probably have to alert the others.
Yeah.
Might be best.
I think at this point it's been about 20 minutes.
Oof.
Okay, cool.
It's
Okay.
going to take maybe another 10 for Bones to finish clearing all the junk out of the way so that the door is completely clear.
And we could take 10 minutes on the next level if they let us go alone.
I don't think they care, but we'll say it. Or may I?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, you have
So,
that knowledge. You've got
yeah.
the knowledge.
As Willow comes through the door, their Cognaut armor's going to come back up.
Mm-hmm.
They will refer to Bones.
How goes it?
We're helping, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Luca and Varys
And you
are
guys?
also helping.
Would go faster if it was all hands on deck.
Yes, quite. But perhaps I was thinking that while you were doing that, you could explore the lower deck.
Bones turns their head slowly to look at you directly in a very intense way.
Rather keep you where I can see you all. Wouldn't make sense to split up in case you got into any danger.
Oh, I mean, you can stay down here as long as you like. We have limited time. We might as well look around while we can.
Then I'll come with you.
How long would it take us as a group to clear out the debris?
If you're all helping, about 5 minutes.
Then I will suggest, why don't we all go? And then when we all come back, we can finish this together.
I'm going to insight check Bones.
Sure.
Can I help
With
Willow?
that, with that terrifying head creak.
Can I help Willow do that?
What? Well, you can make your own insight check. What are you looking for?
What's Willow looking for?
Sorry. Vibes. Why the close
intensity?
Yeah, why the
Nope.
guys?
I know how to read Warforged. Okay, this is not my wheelhouse.
It is very difficult to read the expression on a creature whose face is essentially a skull with glowing eyes.
That sure is Bones right there.
Menacing, huh? No, just the curiosity of why they are so like. What are they afraid of us finding? Because if it was just the elemental, not afraid, what are they cautious about it? Because I highly doubt that they care that we're going to get snatched up by anything. So
you on those rolls, I'm afraid,
Yeah, we
all
have
you
no
get
fucking
is
clue.
that Bones is unwilling to leave you too far away from them.
yep, fine. Well, keep that in mind for next time. I have to roll an insight check against them. But anyway,
Okay.
bastard.
As I said, let's just all go together. And then when we all come back, we can do this and it'll be very quick.
Very well.
No skin off my nose. Come on. Clock's ticking.
Right then.
So which direction are you going down?
We're yelling timber. Well, how many options do we have? Around the side or down the stairs?
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm curious about the stairs.
Okay.
I
I feel like
guess.
if we go down the side, we can then again do like a straight line and come back up here.
All right.
And then just
open to
go back
suggestion.
like
Okay.
It's just that we
Alright.
didn't get to really check
Yeah.
that side, so I'm concerned we kick down and then.
have fun. Yeah, that would be awful.
Okay, fish attack, man.
Yeah, it was fun. We got dinner.
So did they.
They find
Their
us
last meal.
Biggest fucking steak in the
Same
ocean.
joke.
surf and turf moments. Anyway,
So, are you going
the passage
to swim down past the pantry, or rather past the galley into the thing, or
Or-
down the stairs?
Or we could go through this hole and then come back out of the big hole. Yeah.
I can.
'Cause Willow put their head down here, right?
Yeah.
Over
Willow
here?
did
Didn't
look
see anything.
down.
Yeah. So maybe that's a good thing.
Yeah. Okay, we'll start back there. I think that's the one I got the clearest look at.
Okay, yeah. Sounds good.
Cool. So we'll start back here.
Okay.
Oh, no, let me clicky. Thank you.
Fish dog. There's a whip whoop around Warforged bones.
Mm-hmm.
They have a name, fish dog.
What
Damn.
What does bones do when fish dog whip whoops around them?
Mostly ignores it.
Nah.
Okay. Can fish dog do a threat check? I know it's late, but
What is a threat check?
same thing they've been doing when they go underwater. Are you a threat?
Oh,
Are on bones?
Yeah. The answer can just be yes.
Answer unclear.
Oh.
ooh.
Can be, if they wanna.
Could be.
Um,
could very well be if they want to.
Is Varys in the room?
Yeah. Varys is just standing like off to the side because you're all clustered around.
Yeah. Willow
So-
is going to ask.
Sorry.
That's not what Willow asked. I just hit the button too soon.
Everybody cleared to dive?
A
Aye.
little salute.
Aye, aye.
Okay. Can't agonize on the sound of Varys' voice. I'll just plunge.
Okay.
I mean, we don't need to jump. We can just gracefully swim down.
Yeah.
Will it plunge? I mean, pull themselves under by anchoring themselves against the floor.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking go.
Weapon reveal. So, you head down to the carpenter store. What would you like to do?
I'll investigate with advantage for fish dog. This is a cursory
Sure.
opening thing.
Nice.
Whew.
Okay. As you are... Hold on. Let me do a thing real quick.
I'm just gonna blow my nose.
Bless you.
As you are examining around, you sort of look through all the crevices, ducking under. You spot the edge of a camouflaged creature that is hidden under the bow. It is sort of hidden in one of the cupboards that is squeezed tight in there, and does not seem to be aggressive, but you do make eye contact with a very large octopus that is stowed
Oh.
away down there. It can see that there are multiple of you, and it is sort of resting where it is right now.
Willow's
But you
going
know
to
it's
gesture for
there,
you guys.
and it knows you're
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Willow's going to gesture at it and then kind of usher you guys like away. There's no need for us to
Aggravate it, yeah.
interrupt. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wave to it just so it knows that I love it.
I hope that it doesn't attack.
Luca waves, a tentacle shoots out and snatches his arm.
No.
No, it's not aggressive. So.
No.
No. Currently
It
not.
could be dinner.
No,
Just as an aside. What?
it's living its life here, and it's not attacking us. I'm only eating them because they tried to eat me, so they started it.
Bones
Okay.
opens the door to the cargo hold.
Oh, there's Willow.
Steps out.
Hello.
Me.
I'm going to join Bones. They are so, like, you know,
Mm-hmm.
the fact is, I don't even know what I'm really looking for, but the fact that Bones is all like, oh, no, I won't let you go down there. And I'm like, okay, then there's something special here. Something you're looking for. I'd like to find it first. Maybe.
En's gonna do their usual thing of keeping an eye on Varys while bringing up the rear of the crew.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Varys does not. I think you all like pretty quickly move out so that you're not lingering in octopus territory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a very large octopus.
Oh,
Oh.
Zeke's
You
like,
guys lock the
please
door
fight
behind
it.
you.
Please fight it.
No, that's
It-
not what I'm saying.
Neutral statement. Octopus big.
Octopus big. So, you enter the cargo hold. It has by far sustained the worst of the damage.
Ooh.
The starboard wall is blasted open by the massive explosion. Sand and sea life are prominent here, having grown over the remnants of the cargo. And just looking at it, searching this place thoroughly would take hours,
Mm-hmm.
which you do not have. Bones gives a sort of look around and then looks over at the barred and barricaded doors of the brig.
Okay. Is this the kind of brig where it's just like metal bars and you can kind of see into each room?
They are reinforced doors with like a metal grate that you can peek through. But they are mostly solid.
Oh, okay.
And might peek through the one they're standing beside. Just
Okay.
have a look.
Make a perception check. You look inside and it is obviously to see the decaying remains of some humanoids shackled ankles and wrists. There were likely prisoners here waiting transportation, which most likely drowned shortly after the explosion sank the ship.
Yeah, kind of expected that one.
Which door did Bones look for?
Bones didn't look into any of them. He just looked, or rather, they just looked at them, at the doors in general.
Can I?
I'm gonna mosey on up. Sorry, you first.
No. I was gonna say, is Bones watching? Can I look at what Bones is looking at, or are they just watching us?
They are mostly watching you, but they are like making observations of the room in general. I think Bones sort of walks along the length of the cargo hold.
I'm gonna like mosey along, inspect the damage, and like casually ask if they're looking for anything in particular.
Thank you, Luca.
Bones gives an ambiguous shrug.
Well, if you are, and we knew we could help you find it faster.
Make a persuasion check.
Toodaloo looking ass.
No!
Bones gives you an impassive look and does not respond to your question.
Shrug slightly. Something to consider. The offer of aid is there, should you need it. I'm gonna like poke my head over here and look into this this prison cell.
Yeah. No guesses for who was here.
Yeah.
Can't imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is very obvious that the origin point of this blast was very much close to this thing. If somebody wanted to make an investigation check to deduce how exactly it happened, I would let them do it.
I'll give it a try.
Let's see how good at logic you are.
Hey, not so bad.
Not bad.
Well, you reckon that she must have thrown the beads into the corner or something, though the corner is like a little bit off center from the blast, so you're not entirely sure how that worked, but it was definitely something that she managed to probably do from within her cell.
Damn, risky. If so,
Really didn't want to go to jail. Is this any different? This door here, this side Rosalia's.
yeah, I was gonna also investigate.
It's got a little break in it, so it's gonna peek.
Yeah.
Peek in
I'll
there.
also peek into this one. Are these investigation checks or
Perception. These would be perception because you're not able to, unless you're like picking the locks on the door. Yeah, you don't really see anything of interest, just humanoid remains. The few sea creatures that have been able to swim through the gaps have made their homes here. There's sort of mats of rotten growth on their bones. Does not seem to be anything of interest.
are they dangerous sea creatures?
No, these are relatively small.
I
These
think
would be
Willow wants
just like scavengers, so like isopods and that sort of thing.
Are there remains in there?
Yes. Examining the bunch, you'd say there's maybe 7. You count about 7 skulls.
Wow.
Could I investigate more closely if I opened one of these doors? Can I?
Yes. You would need to pick the lock.
I can pick locks.
Willow can also pick locks.
Can I?
Yeah, you have thieves' tools.
You are a pirate.
I'm a pirate, maybe.
You do know how to open locks.
Yeah, I think without kind of consulting, like if they'll check in and see if there's nothing like a shark waiting in there, but they are going to start opening this door.
Yep. You managed to carefully get rid of the padlock on the door and slide it open. Takes a little bit of force, but you manage it. There is one disarticulated corpse within here, on the edge of an explosion, like having charred the wood in one corner. Other than the manacles and what remains of essentially a prison cell, there does not seem to be much in here.
None of the corpses are wearing rings or identifiers, tags. There's no indication of who these people were.
Make an investigation check.
I'll bring Fish Dog over for this.
You find maybe like some scraps of jewelry and a gold tooth. The gold tooth is obviously within the skull, but the scraps of jewelry are sort of scattered around the floor. Other than that, not really any identifying things. Any clothes they've had are long rotten. There's no polyester in Eberron.
Yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Willow's just gonna keep doing
Yeah.
that for the rest of the doors, just
Willow's-
to see.
But Willow's doing that, and it's just gonna kind of look around the room, see if there's anything of interest in the rest of the cursory look around the rest of the cargo hold.
Luca was going to do that as well, so I'll join you.
Yay.
Okay. Cursory looks?
Well, we don't. It's a big
Um,
room, and we don't have a lot of time to look around. And
We did say
No.
about 10 minutes, so 10 minutes worth of looking.
Okay.
Oh, wait.
10 minutes
and
from this moment, or
you first.
Within the
Like-
10 minutes we allotted.
yeah.
Yeah.
so probably more like 5 minutes.
Okay. In that case, give me perception checks. See if there's anything you find of interest. This is mostly from like reading labels or whatever.
Ooh. Nice.
Oh.
Damn.
Go team!
Okay, so you sort of skim through the boxes and barrels and crates. I think, Luca, you find one smallish crate that's sort of stacked in the corner over here that is labeled ammunition.
Oh.
And you looks like it might be crossbow bolts or arrows or something like that.
Can I take the whole crate? Is it a big crate? Can I, like...
You could open up the crate and like take a bundle.
I'll take a bundle for me and my friends.
Okay. Cool. You say add 2 bundles of ammunition. You don't have time to like really examine what they are exactly, but they seem useful.
Yes, sir.
Cool. Varys is also going to have a look around.
Oh, so close!
Poor thing.
Does not
He's struggling.
find anything of interest.
I guess N doesn't either.
Uh,
At 16.
yeah, and as you are glancing through the things, this looks like it's mostly mundane cargo, mundane supplies, everything that you would need to keep a warship running, basically.
Yeah.
So there's nothing really of interest to you.
Yep. I don't have any
You
specific.
don't think there's anything
ship
valuable
knowledge.
here?
Yep.
Yeah.
Nothing expensive, nothing
Oh.
of intrigue.
Yeah.
I would say too that there is a with Willow. I'm imagining like I need to roll. Do I need to roll like 3 more times
What, for the...
to open the remaining doors and to investigate them?
Yeah, like, give me 3 more Thieves' Tools rolls, because you're trying to do this quickly,
Yeah.
but I'll let your investigation check from earlier ride.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Willow's also got quite a focused way about them. Head down kind of focus. And I think if that one Tinker's tool didn't work, they will Thunder Gauntlet it.
That one Tinker's Tool didn't work. I think what happens there is that the lock is basically too gunked up to unpick. It is... and you know that breaking down that door would take a significant amount of effort. It's not like the wooden doors upstairs, which just needed like one solid hit to come apart. These ones are thoroughly reinforced, and just looking through it, you don't think you're going to find anything that would make the effort worth your while.
Okay.
Even from an emotional standpoint. Like,
Yeah. Okay.
I don't think Willow is in the headspace to be like, yes, I have to go find the remains of these bodies. There's nothing in here would tell you who these people were.
Okay.
You have a
then I
better
imagine,
chance
yeah.
of finding out who the prisoners were from the captain's log.
Yep, that's fair. No signs of no more signet rings or whatever?
Nope. Why would prisoners have signet rings?
I don't know.
Roselia did.
Roselia was a prisoner.
Yeah, but she was kind of special, wasn't she?
Just checking.
Was
Maybe
she?
we're all special people.
Were they?
Apparently not. None of them have rings. They're fodder.
Yeah, you don't find anything of value here. Basically.
Yeah. I imagine that when this one like jams, Willow like gets frustrated and moves on to the next one.
Yeah.
They are not happy with this too. They don't like looking at all these corpses. And they don't take the jewelry either. If there is like random jewelry, they'll probably collect it and sort of lay it. If there are any ribs left to lay it in, they'll just like put it there. But
I think you probably just leave it where you found it. I don't think you would pick it up other than to like look at it briefly.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you mentioned Willow like pulling them together before, or if it was the kind of thing where they had to take it into their hand. But either way, yeah,
No.
okay, leave it when they left it then. Cool.
Yeah,
Prefer
I mean,
that. Willow doesn't want to
at
handle
most
this.
you like move some silt out of the way or something, or like a bit of matting, whatever.
I imagine Willow walks out and almost like walks directly into Varys or swims.
Yeah.
Uh,
Varys sort of tries to catch your eye and give you a look of like, all good?
Nothing of note.
He nods. And
And
we
you?
best head up. Nothing of note.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and standing over by the break in the wall, like peering up and around, as if they're readying to go up.
Well then. If there's nothing of interest, let's move on.
Fair. Is that all we can investigate from Roselia's cell too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, you can also roll an investigation check if you'd like for that.
Just if
See
there's
you
anything
can
more
come
to glean. If I can.
a better conclusion. Okay, so looking at the damage and what you know of Roselia, you would guess that she probably concealed the jewelry on her person in some way. A detect magic scan most likely would have picked that up, and it was unlikely that they would just let her have that sort of thing, so she must have had those beads concealed either by some enchantment or some other means, and then most likely drilled a hole or something through the side of her cell, because while the doors are reinforced, not all of the cell walls are reinforced with metal bars. So she could have drilled a hole through the wood and then tossed the beads through to the side to get it to a point where she could stand in the corner and not get hit by the blast fully. Although judging by the burn marks that you had seen on her arms, she probably didn't entirely escape the worst of it. But yeah. So she had her escape strategy, and when the ship got drawn in by the harpies, she took her opportunity. It was not necessarily the best opportunity to take, but it was one.
It worked for her for a while.
Yeah. you get the sense that Roselia was probably a little bit impulsive.
A little bit.
Yes, we do get that impression a little bit.
In a way that ultimately spelled her doom.
Wasn't always good for her.
Yes.
Nope.
No.
Anne's
So-
not
Or
looking
anybody
at
else.
that. Well, they look to swim up.
Hmm.
You will swim back up through. It has now been 30 minutes, at least. You all pull together to clear the rest of the wreckage.
Hmm.
I assume?
Can I?
Yep.
Yep. Can I say something to Bones?
Sure.
Did you find what you weren't looking for?
I think Bones ignores you and just keeps working.
Oh,
Bones is not particularly chatty, and if there is nothing to gain by saying words, they don't.
Fair.
So what's on the other side of this door?
Yes.
Why don't you ask your little friend over there?
Oh, I was asking everyone, anyone who might have an inkling.
Varys speaks up. That'll be the elemental engine.
Oh, that's where the elemental is stored, correct?
Yes, where it should be.
No, it's not anywhere else.
Considering the state of the ship, it is quite likely that it might not be there at all. Or it might be damaged, or who knows.
Indeed.
We should brace ourselves regardless.
Hey, can I tap N
Yep.
to tell him that Willow thinks that there is, or just open up the brain? Have you opened the brain?
Who am I opening the brain to? I can open them one at
To
a
me
time.
first, so that I can tell you.
Okay. And we'll open message for you.
Would you mind telling Varys there is a high possibility that it is in there?
And nods, and we'll send that information to Varys. Willow thinks there's a high probability the elemental is inside.
He
If
says, affirmative, I'll be ready.
What happens to the elemental? Are we just leaving it here?
Did
Another 5 minutes have passed and you've cleared the doorway.
Bones not
revealing-
respond to Luca?
Nope.
Bitch ass.
Well then,
We're
my
gonna
charm is
That's
wearing
bait.
off.
should we think about bribing him now or later?
That's what I was trying to gauge.
Yeah. We'll wait till the door's clear, I guess. So 5 minutes it takes us to clear the door?
Yeah, that's how long while you've been talking, you've been doing the work of
Mm.
clearing the door. The door is heavily reinforced.
Can
Can
I...
You would it has one of those like wheel valves basically to shut it.
Mm.
So which is like heavily rusted. It would take a significant amount of strength to crank open. And breaking down that door also seems like it would take a lot of doing.
I'm going to look at Bones.
do you have an idea of how to open this?
Same way all doors open.
Just remembering Bones wailing on the door up above with the hook.
I believe doors open a little differently for you, Bones.
Big man, give me a hand.
Aye, aye.
Before that,
Willow's going to quickly step in.
what if there is an elemental in there and it comes rushing out?
That'd be dangerous.
Big man would be pulverized.
If you're that weak, you shouldn't be down here anyway.
Touche.
I know what I was sent here to do.
What was that? Sorry, I'm not entirely caught up on what everyone's doing today. Was busy tending my wounds, as you can imagine.
Bones gives you a very flat look. Varys speaks up. Captain Terape told me that you'd been hired by Lyrander to salvage whatever you could of this vessel, including the workings of the engine, proprietary technology and all that. Bones glances back at Varys. There's a strange tension in the air, and he says,
That's right.
Ooh, House Lyranda, of course. And you, Bones. You're doing this for House Lyranda?
Shit. Don't make me laugh. I'm doing this for a paycheck. Captain's orders? I do it.
What kind of money
But-
does Lyranda have
Yeah, they
for
paying
this
you well?
sort of thing? Yeah. And give Anna a face like, ooh, we should do that.
You're a dragon-marked house, what do you think? It's cushy money.
Did they know I was dragon marked?
I don't think Luca
No.
displayed it. No. I didn't even think they know that Varys is dragon marked.
Oh, I thought they meant me. I was like, what the fuck?
You
Luca, like, how do you know I was dragon marked? I wasn't fucking talking about you. Oh!
No, Luca, you played.
I'm gonna chalk that up to Sara's brain fart, not
Yeah.
Luca's.
No. Yeah.
No,
That
I'm
was
joking, I'm
me
joking.
talking in meta anyway. I was
Meta,
like, how
yeah.
did they know? Because I don't remember telling them.
Luca holding the back of his neck, like, wait. No,
Wait
you
a
idiot, you're asking about
fucking
Lyranda.
Really? They're willing to shell out that kind of money for a simple ship like yours?
Yeah. They want their lost and broken toy back. They're willing to pay for it? What do I care the reasons?
But really, they have to split it up between such a big crew. You're gonna just get like a sliver off the old block, aren't you?
Bones narrows their eyes at you, and the sort of glow shrinking down to these like red slits.
And just stares back, casual.
What are you suggesting?
I'm just suggesting you can do better, Bones.
Varys chimes in. We all know how Slyrander's protective of their secrets, but really all you were sent to do was determine if there was anything left of value here. Let's say we make it valuable for you and your captain in a way that doesn't require much effort on your part. This ship has been wrecked for several years, right? What could really be left over?
Probably not much.
And
You've
what
s-
has been damaged so thoroughly by the water.
You've seen the rest of the ship?
Hmm.
Bones folds their arms and leans their back against the door, blocking the way. Not that it's been opened yet. But they sort of mock thoughtfully tap their chin with a finger.
Do they seem like they're going to say anything?
Yes, they do. Just give me a minute. I have to
Okay,
turn on
sorry.
the voice mod on. I have to turn the voice mod on and off every single time I talk as Bones.
I'm sorry. I'm just excited.
Give me a minute. So Bones leans their back against the door and taps their chin mock thoughtfully, and then slowly says,
Sounds like you want something what's in the engine room, eh? And you're willing to pay for it?
And gives a shrug. But it's like a shrug, like, yeah.
Absolutely.
Playing coy.
Bones is going to try and make an insight check on the lot of you. So,
Ooh, that's pretty good.
I would like everybody to... I think what Varys is going to say, with advantage from N... Whoops, that's not... I hit the wrong thing.
Of course, he's
But damn.
charismatic.
Yeah, he's a captain.
That's my
It's a
captain.
spellcasting modifier. What Varys says is, all we're asking for is first dibs on a locked door. We can pay you for your troubles. You can tell Captain Terape that, aside from what you've already recovered, the galleon was destroyed beyond repair and there was nothing else of value. Bones tilts their head thoughtfully.
Name your price.
Okay. Recap in out of game. We were gonna start at 60 gold? And then work our way.
What was our max?
100, I believe, was our max.
Was 100, right?
Well, that was like what Varys said to expect.
Yeah.
Varys said to expect
No
an
less.
ask of at least 100.
Yeah, so what do we
Yeah.
want to start with?
Hmm.
Oh,
I mean, you could start low.
yeah, that was our idea.
Like 50.
I'd say start 60
Yeah,
because that
I'm-
is
I would start 60.
yeah.
I'm not going to offend them. Okay.
Yeah, it's less likely to offend.
So 60 gold.
Maybe like if you're open, you might. No, never mind. 60. Good.
Yeah. Let end
Leave it to end.
120.
90.
dear.
And says 90, and Varys says 90 gold, and this, and he pulls out the thing that he found earlier.
Oh,
A necklace.
It is a Lyrander signet ring. This is one of the signet rings of the navigators. That'll give you proof enough to take to Loriander. And roll a persuasion check with advantage.
Okay.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah!
Yes!
Yeah!
Yeah!
Bones gives a soft chuckle.
Got it. Payment on front then, and I'll let you have free reign. Bones moves away. Oops.
Bones moves away from the door, and Varys gives them the ring, presses it into their hand.
And it's gonna give Bones a little bow, and then extend their arm to the door for Luca.
Bones asks for payment up front, basically.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
Yeah.
Someone
Give
give them cash.
We would have collated this ahead of time. I imagine Willow gave basically all of their money, so that would have been about 50. 53.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll make up the remaining.
We got 30
37?
gold from the...
Yeah, from
We
the
got 30
harpies.
gold from the harpies.
Yeah.
Did you
so
guys
give that
add
as well.
your money from the harpies
I
to
didn't get
your
any.
wallets? Oh yeah, you you broke.
I got cinnamon.
Huh, wait, what the hell? I got 100
Yeah,
gold from the harpies.
Yeah, that's why I was like-
we were using the harpy money for the
Oh, the harpy
scry.
money.
That's what. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So
Well,
keep
blessed
your.
me, I didn't add the harpy money to my wallet, so
Cool.
You got
it's in my book.
178 silver and 30 gold.
Yep. And so we're going to give the 90 to yeah, Bones.
Gold
Cool.
and silver are not the same.
Yeah.
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 Do you need me to do the math for you? Just
No, it's already, we're giving him 90, so 90 of the, I imagine that we kind of put it in like a thing ahead of time, so N doesn't have to $1, $2, like while we're here.
Yeah. We're on the clock. I
Yeah.
can't be doing this.
Yeah.
so where's the money coming from? I just want to make
Willow.
sure that we
100
don't accidentally
Willow.
keep 100 gold that we shouldn't have.
No, I didn't add this to my wallet. It's in my book. So I'm adding
Okay.
100 from
I
this,
would.
and the 10
You
will be
did
for-
not receive 100 gold from the harpy nests.
No, you didn't.
There
How did
was
I get
over
that?
100 silver
Which
and a certain amount of gold.
would
Yeah,
add to
which I
10
just told
gold
you.
or more.
Oh.
Yeah.
So we can't. Sorry, quick question. Does Bones not want to carry silver?
Also, the silver would not add up to 100 gold.
I thought it did. What is this? 7G plus
10 silver is
I don't know
1
how I did
gold.
my maths here.
Ma'am, how much
No, I
money do
know.
you have in your wallet
no.
right now?
53.
53 gold,
So how about
right?
I give? Yep.
Okay, so you give Bones 80 gold, and I will give Bones 10 gold. Okay?
All right.
And Anne and Willow have it covered.
beforehand, I think.
Yeah. Well, we have it
Yeah,
covered.
you
Don't
would've-
worry about it, Luca.
Yeah, but okay.
And
we'll
did the
sort out
talking,
the
so-
exact math.
Yes. Later.
We'll sort out the exact math out of stream.
We have enough money. Like
Yeah.
we
Yeah,
have
we
enough
do
money
have
one
enough
way or the other.
money.
So don't worry
But you
about
do
it.
pay Bones, and they do take it, and then move back and say,
I'll meet you topside then.
Throw in an extra 10 if you stick around and keep us alive.
What can Bones do?
Give him a smile.
Sure. Why not?
Fantastic. And I will twiddle the gold into their hand.
okay. Bones accepts the gold. And yeah. Luca, give me an athletics check with advantage to bust open the door.
Hell
Yay! I'm-
Okay, that was not as exciting as I was hoping.
hey, it's okay.
It's a reinforced door. Might take some time.
Yeah.
So it takes another There we go. So you start pulling, and then Bones starts pulling, and together between the two of you,
Oh.
sorry.
That's the door
Wait, that was
coming
the sound of the door latching.
Elemental. Sorry. It's hard. Sound effects are hard, guys.
You do them well.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
You're fine.
That was the vacuum seal releasing on the
Yeah.
on the engine room.
Let me quickly change the music.
Uh-oh. You guys opening the door, and I imagine Willow's like standing beside Varys, kind of, or like slightly in front of Varys, waiting for it to open.
I think N would probably be towards the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Long range.
Mm.
Varys would be towards the middle.
I have hired another damage sponge.
Good job, Luca.
Essentially.
A true Denise.
I really hope
We'll
Bones
see.
doesn't die.
That would be hard to
Ooh.
explain.
Okay.
The eyeball of the ship.
Let me
Ooh.
describe. The first thing you notice is the rancid stench of death in the water that spills out of this room.
Oh.
The second is the decrepit arcane machinery that fills the space from wall to wall, floor to ceiling. A dark, rotting sludge that might have once been a body lies washed around the central device, a large column of arcane inscribed metal and glass. Broad spider webs of cracks sit in the center of the glass casing that holds a large, midnight blue dragon shard. Before you can enter the room, you feel a strong current swirl from within, dragging at your clothes. You are unable to see anything, however.
Gil,
Dare
and I
I?
jerk my head for Willow to not step past us, but see what they can gather.
Make a perception check.
Yeah, fish dog's helping me. Oh, the silence is so heavy right now.
You sort of peer over the shoulder of Luca and Bones. There is just the faintest. You can just barely see. There's water churning within this room. But you can't see any creature. You do see the dragon shard within, the binding stone that the elemental should be captured within, and this housing. Make an Arcana check, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Do I get advantage on that or no?
I think straight roll.
Not a gay roll. Oh my god.
Well,
You know what?
as you are trying to assess the damage and everything,
Oh, delicious.
a whip of water rushes out towards you. I need everybody except N to roll a strength saving throw.
Oh, thank God.
I did imagine Willow kind of parted you guys, like, to get a better look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just got it in the face.
Yeah.
Not your
There
face again.
is a like whoosh and a lunge as you get knocked to your feet by an invisible force.
Mm.
And I would like everybody to roll initiative.
Hey!
What's finally happening? Woo!
Oh,
Father
boy.
rolled high.
Good job.
Collecting. Select my token.
Oh, we
And hits.
match!
Oh, why'd you
Ah.
get mad? Oh wait, no. Who matched?
Bones and
Me and Bones.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant you and N.
nope. I'm the old model now.
Wow.
Good.
Water weird. It sure is.
It sure is!
Tagline of this whole game. Oh.
Man. What a weird, you know?
Yeah, I sure hope it does. What?
Hey guys, I'm dying.
Yeah. Anyway, back to this.
Oh yeah, did
So-
like did Willow save or like fail?
Willow failed, so Willow and
Oh.
Bones are both knocked prone. Did I roll for Varys?
Oh,
I
both
didn't.
of them. Cool.
Yeah, Varys got a 12.
What did...
No, Bones.
Oh wait,
No, on a
no. Oh, for strength
strength save.
Yeah.
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 Varys got a.
Barris didn't roll.
Wait, he
Barris-
should have... Oh, he has advantage on this specifically.
Captain.
okay.
So does Bones, actually. I should roll again for Bones.
So does everyone but
That's
Willow.
So...
There
Oh,
we
shit.
go.
Okay,
Damn.
so...
Bones is an anchor.
Okay, so, Varys and Willow are knocked prone, but Bones is not.
Cool.
Oh, Varys. Damn. What was the?
What was the DC? Can we ask?
15.
15. Okay. Cool.
Varys.
Just barely.
Just have a chat.
Just have a
Stop
chat on the
that.
floor.
So
How you going?
both
Sorry,
Varys
continue.
and Willow are prone. You've been knocked off your feet.
Yep. We floating.
Yep.
Yeah. How does that work underwater? You're just not like.
You're not
tense.
upright.
Oriented.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Luca and Bones, you feel like a heavy wash as something like rushes out past you briefly, and I think gonna slam Willow. So Water Weird has advantage because you are prone,
Oof. Big oof.
but does not make it past your armor. And then there's this sort of like whiplash effect. As it seems to be violently drawn back into the center.
Ooh.
It is.
Do I get
It
thrown
is.
into the room?
No, you don't get drawn back into the room, but the elemental, whatever it is, you can't see it because it is water and therefore indistinguishable from the rest of the thing.
Mm.
So it is very hard to know where it is. Next up is Bones' turn. Bones shouts,
Bastard!
and will lunge into the room and try to attack, but with disadvantage.
Whale's claw in
on
water.
account-
Oh!
Oh.
Damn!
Yeah, those will both hit.
Wait. So can I tell them that we want to keep it, not to kill it?
Well,
I
you
imagine-
can try and yell now.
Yeah. I'm gonna say, don't kill it. We need it.
Oh.
Cool. So, here's the thing about elementals.
Mm.
Have you ever tried to nail water to a wall?
Okay.
It
Of
cannot be
course.
grappled.
Does not every
and-
toddler attempt this? Go on, Zeke.
What manner
And
of childhood?
the damage is negligible.
What does negligible mean in this circumstance?
it has resistance to piercing damage?
Yes, I was going to say, with Luca yelling that, Willow will probably try and, like, Don't worry, they're prone. Still floating
Luca,
around.
it is your turn.
Can I help Willow up?
Yes.
Okay, I'll help Willow up as
Mm.
my action and say, what do we do? Because I expect them to know what to do.
Yeah, no, quick question to Zeke. So we can't find it in the water.
It is invisible.
It is invisible. Boy,
God, I wish I had that fucking lantern.
visibility suiting a lantern right now, huh? No, okay, so my question was, is this the kind of thing where if you air quotes kill it, it's like a Pokemon? Like, do you have to take it to a low health and then catch it? Or is it like a, if you kill it, it's dead?
I will need you to make an Arcana check for that. Straight roll.
Okay, well, I can't do that yet, huh? So I will wait. Luca's just correcting me.
Yeah.
I'll alas have to wait till my turn.
I'll let
to
you do
do a
this as
proper
like a quick free action
Okay.
on Luca's turn.
Thank you. Because Willow should technically have known that back on
Yeah,
the boat.
exactly.
This feels like something I should know already.
Yeah, which is why I'm allowing you to make the check.
Yeah.
You might be able to subdue it. You might be able to negotiate with it.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, of course. That's why Varys is here. So Willow is going to say, when they correct themselves, they'll say thank you.
Either Varys will speak to it, or
Willow's going to like, gesture at Bones.
that won't do much.
And they said this quietly enough that Bones shouldn't have. They were talking when they said Varys is going to speak to it. That was like quiet, as an aside.
I don't think Bones is really paying attention.
No, I
to
think
you.
Bones is occupied.
Yeah. Yeah. No, no.
It's safe to assume that you can have a private aside in the 6 seconds.
Yes.
Speaking of Varys,
instinct.
Wait, can
Varys.
can I use my bonus action to cast Shield of Faith on Varys in case he goes in?
sure, yeah.
Aw.
cool.
What does it look like when you cast Shield of Faith?
In this instance, I'm probably just gonna go over and like touch him, like pat him on the shoulder quickly, and the water kind of surges around him slightly, like it's unable to touch him, and every time a little droplet like gets a little bit too close, it kind of pings with a little pink light.
Ooh.
Okay. Varys will use half his movement to right himself and look to you and say, I don't know if it's willing to listen to reason right now.
What do you suggest?
I don't know. But Varys will draw a dagger and his sword and stand at the ready just in case. N,
Okay.
Yeah, me.
your turn.
Well, I'm not gonna take the Bones approach because I don't think we want to kill it. I mean, it might want to kill us, but you know. But we don't know that.
The door is open, so you could shoot through it at
Yeah,
something.
but do I want to?
While attacking invisible creatures, you have disadvantage.
Yes. And I suppose I can't really awaken mind something if I don't know where it is.
You can try. What does Awakened Mind say?
Starting.
Does it require line of sight?
You can telepathically speak to any creature you can see. Yeah, okay, so within 30 feet. I mean, I can see water.
I
What?
would say make a charisma check.
Okay. Just a...
Do you need to share a language, or...?
No, you don't need to share a language with the
Okay.
creature for it to understand your telepathic utterances, but the creature must be able to understand at least one language.
Okay.
Cool.
In which case, I would say make a persuasion check at disadvantage, because you're kind of mentally yelling into the void.
Yeah, it's the water. Sure. I'll give it a shot.
Ooh, not bad. What do you say?
We're not here to hurt you. He's not with us.
Okay.
Oh, they.
They're not with us. Pardon me.
Okay. Interesting. Okay,
That one.
Okay.
Yep.
Oops, I accident. Nope. Okay, I was looking for my thing. And the awakened mind does not go two ways.
No. It is a one-way street.
Okay. Cool. You think you pinged something,
Right? And like makes a face like,
but it
whoa.
is unclear right
This feels
now.
weird. But you can see they're doing something by the look on their face.
Willow, you can now make an Arcana check with advantage because you will have access to Fish Dog to try and assess this situation.
Okay. I was considering using Fairy Fire, but oh god, advantage.
Fairy Fire would
Arcana,
also make the thing visible. That is also something that would just let you do that.
Yeah.
So either or.
What did you mention about a sludge before?
There seems to be rot and stuff at the bottom of this room.
Yeah. Well, I guess there's no point fairy firing it until we have a full scope of the situation, so I'll try and get a full scope of the situation. I guess, and fairy fire next round. I guess. Please.
Your choice.
Yeah.
Okay, on an 18 Arcana. So, you can see the Kyber Dragon Shard that it is bound to. It is currently in a form that is probably weakened because the engine is disengaged. So basically what you are dealing with here is not a fully fledged elemental out and about. You are dealing with like a sort of basically a limb reaching out and smacking the area. So if you could physically defeat it, you could physically defeat it, and that would put it back in the Pokeball of the Dragon Shard. Or you could try and negotiate with it and see what has it distressed, because this is not just like random lashing out. This is like, because you've been hearing this churning water the whole time, this thing has been clearly trying to like get out of this environment in one way or another, but it cannot. Something about this place is upsetting to it.
Okay. I'm glad I didn't. Okay. So the Dragon Shard itself, the damage done, can that be repaired or no? It needs to be.
If you attack the limb, it will go back into the Pokeball. If you attack the Dragon Shard, it will most likely, and if you break the Dragon Shard, it will release the elemental wholly, and it'll just be able to go. So this is just like a limb that's flailing outside of a hole, basically, in a cardboard box.
But I can't repair the box until I get the limb back in.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's
So
not
there's
that
no
the
chance
Dragon
of me-
Shard is damaged, it's that everything else around it, all the elemental housing and stuff, the engine is damaged, and it would not be, it's not something that you can do in 6 seconds.
Does
Yeah, no, that's
Willow
fair.
want to take the Pokeball in this analogy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It'd be the best way to do it rather than, because if we release it, it can swim out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So what Willow is going to do, though, is upon arriving, I imagine they pulled themselves through the door. They're going to grab at
That was
Bones.
the Arcana check was your action, basically. So you
But
have a
this is
bonus
just a
action
bonus.
or free
Yeah.
or your movement. So
Yeah, this is just the movement of grabbing at Bones to be like,
Please don't hit the elemental or the engine. We are trying to reason with it.
cool. Bones replies,
Else do you need me then for?
and Bones
don't
is probably
quite
going
know.
to and then Bones is probably going to retreat next round. It is the Water Weird's turn.
I just thought it would be good to have them there in case we needed backup, okay?
It was
Just
a fair
in case.
idea, but you know,
I didn't,
it was a fair. No, it's
maybe
fair.
if I'd known the plan a little bit better.
well, we didn't know
it's
what we
fine.
were
It
going
was
to be
reasonable
facing.
'cause
It was reasonable.
There could have been monsters in there.
Yeah.
It was reasonable,
Yeah.
but now that I'm watching
now that
Bones,
we know
go
what's
near
going on,
the priceless material. Bones waving their fucking hooks around
Bones
at this like
did
very
what Bones
precarious
does
situation.
best, and that's what
Opened
we
the door,
hired him
fucked shit
for.
up. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Imagine Willow fully grabbed the hook arm too.
Yeah. Willow gets gut punched by the elemental as they draw in close.
Whoop.
For 6 bludgeoning damage.
Irritating.
I think it'll also attack Bones, who just charged it.
Sorry.
Oh. Samesies.
Matching. We both get gutted.
You're standing there arguing, and then you
Bones
both
gets,
just got punched.
Bones gets like smacked across the face. There's like a dull boom.
Oh no.
Oh man.
Bones turn. They growl.
Fuck this for a lock. And,
They disengage and move away.
Bones smacked in the mouth. Can I go home?
I mean, you told them to stop fighting, and then now they're leaving.
Just make sure we get
Lucas'
back out
turn.
alive. Thank you. And I'll like gesture for Varys to follow as I go in.
Right, Varys has Shield of Faith up.
Yes.
Put that on.
So this is turn 2, I believe.
Yes.
And I'll like gently raise my hands towards the dragon shard, like, we want to help. I know it can't probably understand me, but I say it in like a gentle voice, hoping that the tone is enough to convey what I'm meaning.
You're right.
Luca,
you're
make
right.
an insight check.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh.
It is fucking disgusting in here.
Uh,
Like, all of this whole room has been completely sealed off for the last 3 years.
oh.
Yup.
There are not even, like, sea creatures in here. It is all just, like... when you step in, you see the sort of liquefied mass of a body that has completely decomposed in water. It is vile
Oh, God.
down here. And you can imagine only what it must be like for a creature that is made of water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably wants like the fresh good stuff, not this sewer bloat. Can I like kick some of the decomposing matter away from the elemental?
It's water.
You feel like that would only kick it up.
Okay.
What
It
spells
is
do
the
you
water.
have prepared?
Do you have prestidigitation?
Oh, are you saying I could like purify the drink that is the ocean?
What does the
Can
spell
you?
say?
Oh.
It all non-magical food and drink within a 5-foot radius is purified and rendered free of poison and disease.
That's you shouldn't drink seawater, but I mean you could.
Once.
Once.
I mean, I knew you could drink it a couple of times before it really started getting to you.
Not this water, but maybe if you purified it. Anything's edible once, as Rom always says.
You don't have prepared, sadly.
No.
Oh, that's okay. Neither do I. I also have that spell.
And I
But you
can't.
can.
Yeah.
But on a 20 insight, you can it does not want to be in here anymore.
Yeah. Okay. Let's get it out.
And what?
I say to Willow.
And the elemental has not moved past this room, even though it could. You assume, for whatever reason.
So, are we assuming like caged animal logic in this case? Maybe.
Perhaps. Luke, are you doing anything else?
You can try and talk to it if you want.
I already did though.
Oh, you already did it. Yeah.
Yeah. Can I prepare a spell? Is that how it works? I
What
don't know
spell you're
how-
preparing?
I want to see if I can purify the water. I'm so tempted.
No.
Damn it!
Preparing a spell is something you do at the beginning of the day.
Yeah.
What spells do you have, and what could you use?
But blessed
Or
command.
you could just, like, take
Put
the
it to
dodge
sleep.
action.
Try to put it to sleep.
Hey, that might work.
I'll
Maybe.
give it a try.
Can we talk to it if it's asleep? No, but we can put it somewhere else.
It'll stop flailing about if it's asleep, I assume.
What does it look like when you cast sleep?
My eyes do the pinprick of light, and I kind of just raise my hand to where I assume the thing is and kind of lower it like I'm closing its eyes.
Oh.
There is a, like, rush around in the water, and you feel it resist the spell. It is too powerful to succumb to your magic.
Fair.
Good try.
Varus's turn. He moves forward, somewhat awkwardly. What can you do, my man?
I mean, he can talk to it. Or can he?
He can. I think Varus starts speaking to the elemental in a language none of you understand.
Oh,
And
so
he will
handsome of you.
Make a persuasion check with advantage.
Whoa. Did anyone else see that dice go
Yeah.
really big?
Yeah.
It jumped at me.
And we'll see what happens next.
Ooh.
N.
Ooh.
Yeah. Can I try and talk to it again?
Sure.
I guess I can just stay where I am.
You know what would make it possible for you to understand what it's doing?
Detect thoughts?
Yeah.
Fair point.
Maybe especially because you've heard Varys start talking to it, you don't want to like.
Yeah, it's a one-way street
Overwhelm it.
that way, so... what's the... 30 feet as well, okay. So I can do it from here, I think. I mean, I might have to
Yep.
take a step closer, but... Should be alright.
That's easy.
Yeah. Yeah, so... yeah, I'll go ahead and cast thoughts along with... Or detect thoughts along with trying to talk to it.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So, surface thoughts. You hear it, or rather, you feel it, like, trying to rush past all these strangers, it vaguely recognizes the sound of like its native speech, as Varys said, but it is like desperately trying to move out of this area. The water is so foul.
We're going to get you out.
We just
Make a straight persuasion check. Okay. Cool. Willow.
Hi. Is there anything?
If you're this close, you might
Nope.
be able to just grab the dragon shard.
That's what I was gonna ask.
Yeah.
Can we just grab it and walk out to take it to nicer water?
I was
You might be
going
able
to
to do
say,
that.
yeah, either grabbing it or kind of, is there anything in this room that looks like it could be broken to kind of rush out the water? But, like in the way of blowing a hole in the back of the boat. But that would probably stress it out more, but at least it would clear the water quickly. I was just contemplating. Grabbing it does seem like an option, though. I kind of imagine, would it get an attack of opportunity if I go around the back, since I've been hit so many times already?
You only get attacks of opportunity if you leave melee.
So you'd be
Okay.
circling it.
Yeah,
Right,
I kind of... Because if it's, like, air quotes, is coming out one way, I think Willow would kind of, like, sidle around, or, like, slide around the sides. That's just more for flavor. I do think... Can I reach in through the back?
What I would need you to do...
Mm.
The other thing you would know about elemental engines is that usually there is some kind of magical ward on the housing itself.
Yep. Okay, so I'm not going to just
So
punch my arm through there. Quick question, too. Is the body here...
not unless
are
you
we
wanted to
suggest-
die.
Yeah. Is the body here... Is there any assumption about who that was?
It would
Is
have
there a
most
body
likely
here?
been the engineers.
Yeah. Yeah. Yikes. Yikes. Okay. Yeah, I think the main thing Willow's thinking now is either clear the room of the water or get the thing out of here. I don't quite know what to roll to do that in the most effective way.
Well,
Because it's either lift out the whole engine or bust out the back wall as the things I'm considering.
so
But I don't know how I do
it
that.
does not seem to be able to move beyond this room.
Okay. Can I lightning lure the... No, because then I might damage it. I could put a rope around it. I could just grab it with my special gloves.
So
Like after the
okay. First of all, let me actually
things.
tell you what is possible.
Yes.
If you wanted to safely grab the elemental, you would need
Oh, I have
to deal with the magical trap.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
glass housing is already broken, so
Mhm.
either you would need to make a thieves' tools check or a tinker's tools check to disable whatever safety measures there are still here, because there always has to be a disabling measure that's logical.
Yeah.
Or you need to fucking big money no whammies shove your hand into the broken glass and just try and pull the shard out.
Look, it's not killing us at the very moment, and they do have someone
Briefly.
talking to it.
Briefly
Like,
looks at
I
Luca's arm, like, I could buy another one.
No. I think that this... Look, it doesn't feel so urgent that I can't try and disassemble it. Because that's the other... That was what I meant by, like, is there anything I can do to make it movable? And I think that's the first step in making it movable. I could
so
punch an arm through, but it feels needlessly risky considering it's not killing us yet, you know?
yeah.
But unless I've read the room wrong, literally. The room full of water.
Well, it hasn't been its turn yet, so you don't know. Make an investigation check, I think, to find what remains of the security systems. Or cast Fairy Fire to make the thing visible.
Question. Fairy Fire would make the actual limb, air quotes, reaching out visible, yeah?
Yes.
But if I can find a way to, air quotes, if I can find a way to pocket the dragon shard, the whereabouts of the arm won't necessarily matter.
No, it'll just kind of...
Be in my pocket. Okay. I think... And Detect Magic won't reveal anything new?
Detect Magic
would
would
that
reveal
reveal
what
the-
remains of the security systems.
Yeah, I think so, similar to an investigation.
Yes. It would just also use
Okay.
a spell slot.
That's fine. I think. Yeah. We'll do that.
So you're casting Detect Magic?
Yes.
Okay. So, you can see there is a abjuration spell that will trigger if you basically touch it.
Mhm.
That is on the base where it is holding the dragon shard in place, basically.
So trigger when you actually touch the base, or when you touch the dragon shard at all?
Basically, when the dragon shard is removed, it will... the spell will go off.
And do I know what the spell does?
You can guess. It would most likely target whoever is taking the dragon shard out of the way. So, it is not a self-destruct button because that seems stupid.
Yeah.
But it is risky. It would most likely be a wisdom saving throw.
And is there anything about this that is indicating how to deactivate it?
Not from just Detect Magic. That's your turn. You want to move at all, or?
Sorry.
I do want to tell Luca to move, and I want to use my bonus action to bring up my temp armor.
Okay. Cool.
So defensive field, and I get one.
You activate your defensive field and tell Luca to back up. It
Equal
is...
to your level in this class.
So 4.
Which is 4. Okay, so I have an extra 4 hit points if you want to kill me a little bit harder.
It is the water weird's turn. It
Look at...
swirls indecisively. It is unable to speak in this form. But it does not attack anybody.
Ah!
Bones leaves.
Bye, Bones. Continues to leave.
Well, I was hoping they would stick around just to keep an eye on us, but okay.
If you're dying, scream. Luca.
Can I cast Purify Food and Drink as a ritual? In the middle of
you do
combat?
not have it prepared.
It's not prepared at all. Oh, yeah, no. If yours is like mine.
I don't know how spells work, obviously. All right, what do I do? I say, looking at Willow.
Okay, Willow's going to explain to you.
At least. Don't touch it. There is
6
a
seconds.
magic on it that will activate if you touch the dragon shot. So try to avoid agitating it or touching it.
Doesn't give me much to do physically.
I can't think of anything to tell Luca to do other than what I said, which was get out the way.
Well, I'll get
And
out the way.
expectantly looking towards Varys to see whether he's having any luck having a chat to it.
How's this wall here, by the way?
What about it?
Is it like breakable?
It's
it
solid.
strong?
It's
Um,
yes.
Damn. Because we're wondering if we could hack open. Are you thinking what I'm thinking, V1?
No, I think I am W2.
Yeah. This whole room is reinforced for
Right, never
obvious
mind.
reasons. Okay, so Luca backs up. It is Varys' turn. He
up.
continues to try and
I'll be here.
speak to it. It seems to be having an effect, but it's not really a conversation.
Mm.
And you hear the thoughts of the elemental. Varys is promising to liberate it and remove it from this place. And it seems hopeful, but also it doesn't really know how best to help you do that.
All
I
right.
love.
And we're gonna
Gonna name it and everything.
get a bit closer. I probably just keep trying to talk to it. Just trust the one in the gold armor. They'll know what to do.
Make another persuasion check. I guess advantage at this point.
Okay.
Hey!
Solid.
Hey!
What happened?
Yeah! It knocked it over.
Rude.
That should be a 20, baby!
Should be, but a last roll 20 says no.
Mhm.
More like roll 8.
Okay. Willow's turn.
Hi. If I know that there is something to be done, can I skip to tinkering, or do I have to investigate then tinker?
Because of the detect magic, you know exactly where the thing is, so now you make a tinkering check.
Okay.
And Fishdog can assist you.
Okay, nice. Fishdog has neumed in to help, and I will tinker. And that's not going to release it into the wild or anything. It's just going to stop the
No.
ward from killing.
Yeah, no.
me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, cool.
Oh!
Oh, damn, Willow.
Please describe as you disarm what is essentially a bomb and are able to remove the dragon shard.
Oh shit! All in one.
It's a
Hell
natural
yeah.
20.
Nice.
Oh my god! Yeah! Okay. Alright. Okay, so I imagine the warding part to be on the floor for some reason. Like, closer to the floor. Like the actual part that needed to be tinkered with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I kind of imagined there was like Willow sort of pushing themselves down so that it doesn't make sense necessarily, but they are as close as you can get to sitting cross-legged in front of this thing underwater. Like they've kept themselves pressurized down to maintain a focus and basically gut this thing. Once they are sure that the magic ward is down, I imagine like a glimmer as like something deactivates around it that sort of glows on their face. I do imagine too that when they rise, they probably might. Oh, whoops! Despite what N just said, they're going to remove their armor.
Mm-hmm.
They know who you are. It's fine. You still got
Yeah,
gold
they're
on
going to
you.
remove their armor. Yeah, just to get. I don't know. There's something about it. Like they just want to do this as Willow. and they're going to gently reach in, and I imagine, is there a glow to it, the dragon shard?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a dark blue glow.
Yeah. With the kind of similar focus as when they were scrying, I feel that like delicate procedure of just making sure that nothing is going to fall apart anyway, and sort of gently cradles and snaps it out of place. And the thing's all good.
Yeah. You are now holding the Kyber Dragon Shard that contains the elemental. It is large. I will say it's about. I would say it's somewhat larger than Fish Dog. It's not just like something that you can hold in one hand. You have to use both hands to carry it out, and it's like heavy as well underwater.
Yeah,
But-
no, I imagine Willow's like holding one at the bottom, one at the top, and they like
Yeah.
rotate it a little and like look it over.
Yeah.
It's a big smile happens. And Willow is going to actually speak and say, "Hello there." Does it
Cool.
do anything? No? Cool.
Yeah. I think with that nat 20, you successfully remove it, and we are out of combat.
Oh!
Nice.
Yeah.
What do you do?
It's
Do you
cool.
pocket the
like,
shard?
I was about to say, is it cool? Like, does it seem okay?
It does not seem to be aggressive anymore.
Well, you gotta at least give it some fresh water before you put it in your pocket.
We'll take it out for fresh water.
Yeah.
Yeah, Willow's going to. Would it respond badly if Willow hugs it?
It's not its physical body, it's just where it's tethered
Yeah, I
to.
know. Willow just wants to hug it.
You may hug the shard.
Yes, I think Willow's going to draw it to their chest and kind of hold it. And, like, I imagine that it kind of emanates, like it pulse. Even if it doesn't, I feel like Willow feels like it does emanate a kind of power about it.
Yeah. There's definitely, like, an ambient magic that, like, sets the sort of hair on your skin, like, prickling. You get goosebumps holding it.
Mm.
You feel elated, and as you move with it, the elemental sort of drags with you. It wants to get going.
Yeah.
It's like a dog pulling at a leash.
Aw.
An invisible dog.
Yeah. Willow's going to, like, sort of, like a dog, pat it. They stroke the outside of the dragon shard, and they say, "We're going to get you out of here," and then pocket it. But I feel like they will hold their hand in their pocket, so that it's still...
Yeah,
Can
so
you do that?
you're
Can
still
you hold?
touching it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then turn
That's how
around
you
to the others
get
with a
things in
big
and out
grin.
of those pockets.
Yeah.
All right.
Congratulations, Willow Jenkins.
And's grinning a bit. Is Willow back in their armor by the time we leave the
Yeah.
good fortune?
Yeah. Was there anything else in the room to analyze, like, or take of the parts, the engine bits, like, while I was tinkering?
No.
No?
I don't.
Do keep in mind we
I
have
think-
like limited time.
I think the main thing is that, like, you've built an engine housing for this. You were just, like, missing this one central piece.
So is this kind of
Um,
like Willow has made the thing and they just found the battery for the thing, and now that they've
Yeah.
got the battery, they can
Kind
turn
of.
it on?
Sort of, except not quite. Imagine you basically built the housing for where an engine should go, like where all the ports and connections and stuff should go, but you were missing the block of the engine itself. That's
Like a
what an
GPU.
elemental is.
Or the PSU? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
You were missing the central component that makes it actually go.
Oh, Willow, I'm so happy for you.
I think.
Um.
Are you done?
Oh, I was just gonna say, I still imagine Willow would kind of just do a cursory glance around the room, especially for the it sucks and they are happy about the find, but their bodies around the room in case there's anything
There
on
were
them. Nothing. Were bodies.
They
Pulp
are
now.
mush.
pulp. Yeah.
So glad Willow took their mask off in this circumstance.
Yeah.
But it's fine.
Oh, but the water tastes like worse to Willow? Do they
Yeah.
have stronger
I think
taste
it
buds?
tastes worse to everyone. Oh no, I don't
Yeah,
think
but-
so. A stronger sense of smell. I don't know about their taste buds.
Which is also your sense of taste.
Yeah, because your
yeah.
smell's connected to taste, so
But would I?
rip
Yeah.
Willow.
Make a
That's
quick
okay.
Constitution saving throw.
Okay.
Gag check.
I'm used to those.
Oh god.
I don't know why I put on a Bones voice.
I don't know either.
Well, you like briefly like go like, "Ugh," but you do not yarf into the water.
No, I feel Willow will
You
put
do
the
not
Cognaut
add
armor.
to it.
Yeah, Willow will put the Cognaut armor up. Basically, as soon as the buzz of focus wears off, which is like when they stand up and start looking around the room, they're going to be like, oh, yucky, and then put the mask back on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whenever Willow leaves the room, Ed's gonna like offer their hand in like a high five
Mm-hmm.
to Willow.
Okay.
Yeah, Willow's going to return that underwater.
Yeah, just a little underwater clap.
Like wet noodle flop of the high five.
Yeah.
Yeah. How's I also think Willow would have, because Varys was right behind him. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Willow would probably extend their hand to him for a handshake.
Yeah. Varys says, "You did it."
We did it.
We did. Let's get out of this place.
Mm-hmm.
We did it. We did it.
By this point, Bones is already at the top deck, and you can hear sort of the sounds of, I guess, hacking is what I would describe it.
What's he doing now?
Remember the steering
yes,
wheel?
The original point. No,
Ah,
it
yes.
wasn't that. Dickhead.
Well,
Okay.
too bad. You did not barter for it. You bartered for...
What was
The
in
elemental-
the engine room?
Yeah. So, Bones is cutting that out rather crudely.
I'll go offer them a hand.
Bones has the two shipmates, basically.
Oh, they popped up? Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah. So they are transporting basically the entire helm with them and putting it into the rowboat. Cat spots you from across the way and gives you a wave like, all good?
And gives a
I
thumbs
wave
up.
back and give her like a big thumbs up.
She gives you a thumbs up back.
I will offer to help the other two as well. The other three.
Are they going at it in a way that's like damaging it?
No, they're basically chopping it out of the floor.
Yeah. Wow. And sorry, just to confirm, I didn't notice anything else in the elemental engine room that was useful or salvageable.
Make a quick investigation check.
Yeah, I forgot to actually roll the dice. With advantage because I would have had fish dog.
Yes.
Or anywhere else, but mainly there. Anything
I
of
think
note.
you've pretty much examined the rest of the ship.
Yeah.
That would be the main thing. There is nothing in there that would be that you don't either already have a smaller version of, or like it would be too much work to disassemble and take the whole thing apart, kind of thing.
Yeah.
You have what you need, basically.
Yeah.
You maybe take some notes on like the exact connection that was to hook the dragon shard into the system itself. But like, there's nothing that you physically need to carry out.
I do imagine there's that moment like of pause where they look around the room a bit longer, that poignant backwards look before they leave it, knowing that this is going to be destroyed, probably. But
It'll turn
they at least
into
got
the ocean.
yeah. But yeah, back up to cat level.
So, having emerged victorious, you set about the work of collecting your things and making way.
Wait, are we leaving the reef?
Bones,
No,
somewhat.
We've done everything.
As in, like,
Yeah.
we haven't
you're
got the
not, like,
chest yet.
you're not like traveling yet, but you are leaving the exterior of the reef. So, Bones and their two crewmates hack apart the helm, taking basically the important bit and also everything that it attaches to, and putting that into the rowboat, which dips considerably when both the helm and Bones sit in it.
Amazing.
Wait, are we on our boat yet? Or are we still on the galleon?
I think you are, like, heading back to your boat. Like, you're still on the galleon and sort of you're gonna come around and leave soon.
Yeah, I imagine
Varys approaches Bones briefly and says, "You've got everything you need, then." And Bones nods. Willow, what were you doing?
No, are we not getting Roselia's chest? Did we get that already?
You're going to get that at the end when the captains are negotiating.
Yeah. I was going to make a smart-ass comment at Bones, but I think I might not risk it.
Okay. All right.
Please do it. They have so much dirt on us now.
Like what?
Oh, we have money, and we wanted whatever was in there, and we don't want to kill elementals.
Okay. Yeah.
And we have something of Lyranders, which is probably the biggest thing, but we paid them 100 gold, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
We've got a safe bubble there. Made of gold.
Just don't piss them off.
No, all good. Willow was about to open their mouth, close their mouth. Luckily, you can't see it behind Cognor's armor. It's just the...
Yeah.
Never mind.
Thought Warforged didn't breathe.
Cool.
So happy.
All right. So with your salvage is safely secured in Willow's pockets, and what Bones has collected, you return to your respective ships. Varys does a big sigh of relief once you're aboard the scrap bucket again. Well, just got to tie up loose ends and then we should be away from this place.
I don't think Willow has pulled their hand out of the pocket this entire time. They're just like holding it in there. They might head towards... No, it's okay. Would it work in the shower? I'm trying to think of a way to be like, nice. Is the elemental comfortable in the air? Like if I brought it out.
Yeah, it wouldn't die if it's not submerged in water.
Nice.
It's not a goldfish.
Yeah.
It is made of sentient water.
Yeah. So I can bring it to the table?
You might want to have it out back because it might make a mess.
What if you put it in a bowl?
It is bigger than a bowl.
Oh, yeah, right.
It is-
Just imagine Luca bringing like a little soup bowl and Willow like, it's a little bigger than that. But no, Willow's
It
not
is.
talking yet.
I forgot. I'm sorry.
Elementals are typically mechanically large, so imagine a horse made out of water.
Oh my god. How is that in Willow's pocket? Wait,
Well,
are you gonna
It's
let
in a
it out of...
Pokeball right now.
Wait, are you
Yeah.
saying you want to let it out of the Pokeball?
No. No.
Okay.
Can I bring
How
the
big
crystal
is the-
out? Or is
how
it
big
because
is
the
the
crystal is
Pokeball?
cracked, yeah?
No, the crystal is not cracked. It was everything
Oh.
around it that was.
Oh, gotcha. Okay,
Oh,
cool.
okay.
So
Then
I
I've drawn it
can-
wrong.
Oh, wait, so I can bring it out though in my living room area then? Or is it going to like whoosh when as soon as I bring it out?
I mean, you will definitely be in a fucking splash zone if you bring it out in your living room. It is literally made of water.
Maybe wait till we're
When I
on the
sorry.
water so that we can't
Okay.
be seen.
Let me just specify. When I say bring it out, I mean the crystal. Is that what you mean as well? Or do you mean the actual
Yes.
elemental bringing it out of the Pokeball? So if I pull the crystal out of my pocket, it will explode water?
The elemental can choose whenever it emerges from the crystal, is the thing.
Ah, gotcha.
You
gotcha.
don't
So
get to
we don't
control
have-
that.
Yeah, okay, gotcha. So
It
it
is
stays in my
tethered
pocket
to
until...
it. Yeah,
Got yeah. So it's like a bow wow on a chain. Like, okay,
A
ball
little
on
bit,
chain.
yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Okay, cool. No, it's just because I was like, huh? But yeah, I won't bring it out then. I would just hold it in my pocket.
Mhm.
Good job keeping us together, Captain.
Yeah, good job back there, Captain Varys.
Right. Well, let's make ready to meet with the Blackfin and her crew and discuss the splitting of whatever treasures we have found.
And just so you know, N, I think Willow is still Cognaut. Or I know Willow is still Cognaut.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Look at dumps two bundles of ammunition on the table. This is what I found.
Um,
Handy.
do we have a
Nice,
sink?
more arrows, Cat says.
Do we have a sink?
Yes?
Okay, Willow actually just a big metal bowl. Willow is going to start putting the fish in it one by one.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Empty
yeah.
those
I
out.
also found dinner.
Dinner found you first, but you know.
I turned the tables.
Luca's a very tasty snack to some fish folk, you see, and is going to say to Cat.
You got bitten by fish?
I pick up one of the fish and I like open its mouth to show the teeth.
Oh, ow.
It didn't look very comfortable. I only saw it from a distance, but
It wasn't. It was not comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
not the kind of facial you're used to, huh?
I give N a look and then I look at Varys and then I look at N like, not in front of our uncle.
Varys is
cosmetics.
busy turning the ship about.
Ah, okay, good.
You're the one who
So
thought that,
you
Luca.
are luckily spared and picked the precise moment that they would not get in trouble.
And skill.
Willow hasn't said anything yet upon arriving back. Or even back on the galleon, I think they've been quite quiet.
I think Kat briefly asks, like, all good? You got everything you needed to the general group, and probably notices that Willow is holding themselves in a way.
Mm. Oh. it's kind of waiting for Willow.
No, I mean, if you want to interact with that at all, she's just noticed you.
I don't think Willow's going to rise to that yet.
Okay.
And we'll probably just
Unless
continue
prodded?
to regale Cat with some
Yeah.
stories about their little adventure.
Yeah, Kat is like happy to hear you guys talk about what the hell happened, and all that. So we move forward in time. It is or what do you want to do?
Before we go away, I think Willow is going to say is everyone in earshot? Yeah.
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 I'm going to go downstairs briefly, but before I do, I just wanted to say thank you to everybody.
And it's gonna do a little salute. No problem.
Need a help?
Varys gives you a nod.
It is quite a feat that we pulled off, so thank you.
And then Willow's going to kind of duck off and go downstairs.
They're crying. Can I insight check to see if I can get any vibes from that?
Sure.
Sure, I will too. Oops.
Willow, can you GM roll to me?
What am I rolling to?
Deception or persuasion?
Nope.
Oops.
Deception or persuasion?
Yes. Your choice.
Deception. I guess persuasion? 'Cause
Your choice,
Willow's-
as in you don't have to tell the others what you're doing. 'Cause I
Oh,
will
laughs.
see it.
Yeah,
That's why I
forgot
asked
it
for a
was
secret roll.
Yeah, cool.
Secret.
I almost did it public too. Oops.
Okay.
It's
What
okay,
do
you just
they
got an
see in
elemental.
Willow?
I think they see oh gosh, it's hard. Obviously they have the mask up.
Yeah.
And they have deliberately
Body
modified
language.
their voice. But body language wise, they haven't let go of the galleon the shard yet. They're kind of like holding it hoisting it against the jacket against themselves too.
Yeah.
And they just seem a little it's awkward. I feel like they are mainly awkward. They are still glad, but there is something
Okay.
more to it. There is more depth to this than
Yes.
just
I
joy.
think
This means something that we
I
don't
think
know.
like while Willow has said thank you, you can tell that that was and could not have possibly expressed the depth of their emotion.
Yeah, that's
kind of
what I gathered at the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on there that Willow has
Yeah, that's kind of what I was
either
thinking.
unwilling or unable to articulate. And it is so clear that the way they are holding this crystal, they're basically holding it like a baby, as in like this is a precious, delicate thing.
Okay.
Oh god, I actually might add a little more to what Willow said. They're going
Yeah.
to vaguely gesture as well and say, like, sort of mainly to Luca and Varys, and say,
I know this was not particularly a simple ask, nor necessarily an ask without burden, I suppose. So, to all of you, again, I am very grateful.
they gesture sort of pointedly at the idea that maybe, especially after Luca's little woohoo moment the other day, and his
Yesterday.
Korok moment yesterday, and also like
Yesterday.
the everything with Varys. Actually, God, they might gesture at N too, because no one's in a good way. So yeah, that's a kind of widespread sentiment.
Yeah.
Everyone effed up, but thanks for pulling together.
Because
think
this means
Varys
so
kind
fucking
of-
much to me.
I think Varys kind of gives a little smirk and a sigh and says, "Go run off downstairs.
Yeah, and nods
You need
like
to hold yourself back on our account."
little chin up nod, just like go on, and a smile.
All right, goodbye.
I'll call you when dinner's ready.
All the permission they needed.
Thank you, Doctor.
Scampers downstairs.
Someone's happy with their new toy.
Cat
Lucas kind of just
"What
watching
did you
where
get?"
Willow. An elemental?
No.
Yeah,
I give her a grin, like, yeah, baby.
No.
a whole elemental. We just, we walked in, we just exchanged a few nice words, made friends with it, and now it's in Willow's pockets.
Hmm.
Cat looks around disbelievingly. No.
Hey,
She looks over to Varys and he just gives a nod like,
Like,
There'll be
these three
plenty
are
of
so
time
fucking weird.
to
Sorry,
recount the
Varys,
tale in detail. Once we have sorted this out, I still
Ah, yeah.
have to bring you all home again to salvage.
the most dangerous part, the most perilous part. Getting us home.
And we have negotiations with pirates, not to forget.
Indeed.
Hey, we've proven that we
Hey.
can do that well,
Yeah,
right?
our little test run went pretty well, I think. They
Hmm.
grin at Varys.
Well, we'll see what they do about that chest, eh?
I would have preferred Willow's opinion on it, but I get the feeling we won't be seeing them again today.
I think Willow
Well,
wants Willow's opinion
Let's
on the
give them
chest.
some time.
We'll just give them a couple minutes.
Flowers.
Half an hour, few hours.
Let's cut to downstairs. Willow, you are in your engine room.
Yep.
What do you do?
Willow has now taken off their armor. They've taken a moment. They feel like they're steeling themselves for this. This is, like I said before, I think once the helmet comes off, it's like they don't know how to feel. They are elated and at the same time like heavy. It's kind of like a nostalgia and the weight associated with that nostalgia as well, like all of that.
I think before Willow can really get into it, they take that stealing breath within the confines of the engine room, and the elemental sloshes out again.
Well, I think Willow's going to, and then like can they pull it a little out of their pocket, or is that because they pulled it out of their pocket?
It's because you pulled it out of their pocket.
Okay, well then I would say that while Willow is getting in their feelings, then they pull it out of their pocket, and it's like moments of silence as Willow's like looking it over again.
Yeah, you get completely drenched. But the it's still in this like sort of weakened state. You know that it's not this is not it in its full glory.
No.
But it does seem to be in a better mood.
Yeah. No, okay, Willow's going to like pat the shard and hold it. Like I imagine they got like a big like splash of water across the face.
Oh yeah, Willow is like suddenly drenched.
Yeah. Willow laughs, like they give a big laugh, and then they're gonna take off their glasses in case the glasses get like, I don't know, KO'd off. They just want to take the glasses off.
Yeah.
So they blink a little to clear their eyes, and they're looking at it again. And they are, I understand. Don't worry, you'll be much more comfortable here. And we shall return you to your former glory.
Okay.
What's it doing?
I think it's mostly just like roaming around. It seems to be exploring the new engine room that you have for it.
Willow's going
I
to be
will-
making.
I
small
will
talk with
quickly
it,
bring
basically.
you over to the map just so that you can see how big it is when it is
Damn.
out of the water.
Oh. Oh, big friend.
Oh, I'm so soft about this thing.
I know.
I love it.
It's
Yeah.
like a crystalline version of our dedication to each other.
Oh,
Aw.
wow.
And it's gonna
Cute.
power our travel forward. Anyway, not getting ahead of myself.
No,
It's
definitely
a big
not, 'cause
weird dog that you. It's a big weird wild animal.
made of water, and we love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's our baby
Hey.
now.
Yeah.
I feel like a question to Zeke. Would Willow know like the equivalent of hi there in the language that it speaks? Because actually,
I think you
I
know
wonder if they
a
would've said-
variation of it.
yeah, I think Willow might give that a go. Just say it, just like talking to it now that we're here.
It sort of perks its head briefly and then goes back to sort of sloshing about the room vaguely.
Yeah, I keep imagining. How high do you reckon it reaches when it like skims past Willow again? Is it like waist height, like, or just going over the whole body?
I mean, it is a blob of water, so it could just be a pillar that reaches from like floor to ceiling, or it could be like you have suddenly got an entire horse in here.
I do kind of imagine it's doing like, you know how like dogs sniff the corners of a room? I imagine it's like doing
basically.
like, like swirling around the middle.
Yeah.
It keeps like washing over Willow completely, and Willow's just kind of taking it.
Yeah. It's not like hurting you, but it is kind of
No.
completely disregarding your presence.
No, 100%. Willow's just okay with this. Willow's also going to say like, feel free to let me know if there's anything that you would like changed. I can make the arrangements.
Does not seem to comprehend.
Yeah.
They're just going to talk to it. They're just literally talking to it in full sentences like they do.
Yeah.
They did say hello to it in its language. That's fine.
Yeah.
Willow's just happy.
Yep.
Yeah.
You just hold the crystal, or are you going to put it in its housing yet?
I think Willow's going to hold it a bit longer, just kind of to feel it, the weight of it, for a bit. And when that's kind of bittersweet feeling starts coming back, they're going to consider that it's time to mount it where it needs to be mounted.
Mm-hmm.
Hope you enjoy your stay. If you don't, I'm sure you'll let me know, and then they will place it in.
Okay. There's a soft chunk as you slot the dragon shard into place, and the elemental dissipates back into its crystalline home. You flick a switch, and there is a sudden surge of energy. You haven't engaged the engine yet. This is just a systems check, but you can sort of feel and hear the elemental as it like swirls through the various tubes, the magical conduits, like blood rushing through the veins of a person. You have given it a new home. It is.
Can I touch the
time
shard?
to- Yeah.
Yeah, Willow's going to press their forehead against it. If they
It
can.
is. Yeah, it is cool and thrumming with magical energy.
As complicated as this feels like the literal polar opposite of that nightmare they had, where the elemental was on fire and like screaming and dying.
Yep.
And I think Willow's taking solace in that. for a moment.
You've done it.
It's nice. Willow did it.
You've made it.
We all did it.
It works, or it should work. The question now is only if you have someone to actually drive it.
Hmm.
I think this is a good place to end.
Yeah.
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 We can sort
And I think-
out all the
Mm.
negotiations
Next time.
another time.
Next time.
Yeah.
But we just end on the scene
Yeah.
of Willow with their glasses off, seeing as the sort of spirit lines of the elemental, the pure magic, swimming through the ethereal inside the engine room.
Hmm.
Trails of light dancing around. It's strange and straining to look at, but at the same time, you feel satisfied.
Yes.
You knew you could do it. You always knew you could do it, but to actually see it completed is something else.
Yeah.
And this is where we'll end this session of Metanoia Blues.
Take us
And
to
dare I add? Oh wait! One thing. Dare I
Yeah.
add? You said the only question is who's going to drive it.
Mm-hmm.
I think the main question in Willow's mind is where is it going? Where are we going?
Mm.
Where are
That
we
is-
going?
Yeah.
Where are we going?
More holds. I know we'll see. But yeah, that's the question that is plaguing them now. Not plaguing. That is on their mind. That is floated across their mind in this pretty little scene that I love so much.